we are live. Thank you for hanging on in there, team. We're back in Rocktopia in Mount Maunganui right now, away from the cricket stadium, to watch the finals for the bouldering and the lead climbing for the first ever combined championships for New Zealand. Our climbers have just finished doing their viewing, and shortly they'll be coming back out to climb.
So during their viewing, they would have been deciding the best way to go about the boulder, which can be tricky if it looks like there's multiple ways to do the boulder.
Yep, they'll be viewing all those, gorgeous new holds on the wall, figuring out how they're going to do it, like you're saying, Zeta. And we had a talk with the route setters and had a look at how it's going to go. So, yeah, we'll be able to give you some insight. Here's our bouldering women's start list. Up first, we've got Sarah Tetzlaff, Abby Joubert, Phoebe Kenderdine, Cirrus Tan, Taylor Manning, Kim Ford, Erica Gatlin, and Kerry Shibahara.
It's quite a strong group of females competing today, so it's very exciting to see how it all turns out.
Got our dedicated team of brushers just there. Some of the young boys have decided they want to volunteer so they can get nice and close to the action.
The climbs look really cool today. Some look pretty tricky, but I'm excited to see how the climbers go about them.
You can stand by the roller door and see the action. Or squeeze into the back of the boulder cave. No room in the back, I'm told. So go and stand by the roller door, you'll be able to see the action.
Excellent.
Or some of the action.
All right, cool.
All the females will be warming up currently.
Yep. There's Rob Moore there, the head coach for New Zealand climbing. He's been all over the world in the past couple of years with the team. He's been to China, Russia, Thailand, Austria, Italy. It's really good to have him getting back into it, motivating everyone, and he's probably the main driving force behind getting that speed wall done.
Yeah, he's been a real huge part of climbing New Zealand in the past few years. So we got everything up and going again, which has been fantastic.
Really fantastic, dedicated coach. First two climbers out, we've got Kerry Shibahara and Caleb Bryant.
Of the bouldering component of the Climbing New Zealand 2019 Open Combined.
Hopefully we'll switch on over to our footage of the climbing. Hopefully the cameras will switch over shortly to our footage of the climbing. Here we go. Okay, so here's Caleb Bryant on his first boulder of today. This pink one looks really interesting. This black one, they've intended it as a triple dyno, the route setters told us. So
it looks really cool.
We'll see how Kitty goes. Falls off just at the start there.
So they've got to do hand out to the right, then up to the box, and then another double out to the next hold.
Route setters were saying that they think they can just go double straight for that box hold though.
She's trying again. Her chosen beta.
Caleb making his way up to that small little dual-tex crimp. He's going to have to get his left hand out onto that zone hold.
Pushing down.
Palm off it. Just falls off there.
It's quite strategic the way the climbers go about their bouldering. You've got to make sure they had enough rest in order to get the best out of each of their goes, because trying to do it in the least attempts possible is the goal.
Yep, especially if you're on a more strength-based boulder, you're using a lot more effort. You want to take that time and rest, whereas this sort of dyno one that Kitty's on here, she can, have a few more goes at. There's Caleb rolling his shoulders out. So how the results will work for this competition is every place will be multiplied between the disciplines, and the person with the lowest score will win. So currently in first place for speed climbing, we have got Sarah Tetzlaff for the females and Elliot Kaye over from New Caledonia.
The speed results were pretty good today. A lot of the males getting sub 10.
Got a new unofficial, currently, New Zealand speed record. Here's Caleb Bryant back on the wall. He's going to have to walk his feet up high.
Got to really push down on that hold.
Oh,
Yeah.
Iron cross between those two holds.
Wow.
Lots of shoulder tension. That's a dual tex hold there. There's nothing on those holds right till the top. He's found it.
He's currently got the zone and is heading for the top hold.
Just struggling. Going to take his time and breathe. Route setters have told us that they need their right hand right up on top of that hold. Then they're going to double out to the final. So we'll see what happens here.
The dual tex holds are quite difficult because they could hold a slippery bit, which is very difficult.
Caleb jumps for it and he just misses the top hold. Kerry's going for the dyno again. Trying the 1-2 and just falling off on that left-hand box hold.
The right-hand hold she's going for is really flat, so it's quite difficult to pull yourself up on.
It's a big sloping one, that one. You won't be able to just hold on to it from a dead point. Caleb's asking the brushes to have a go at the wall there, get some of the chalk off the holds. It's quite a confined space out there, isn't it, Zeta? There's not much room for the spectators to watch.
No, they've been jamming in, trying to see. These are very cool boulders today, though. Time's up.
So we're on to our next climbers. Big shout out to our two great sponsors, Rab and the North Face. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for providing us with spot prizes. Thank you to Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association for help making this competition possible. All the volunteers and everything. These competitions can't run without you guys. And thank you to Climbing New Zealand for putting on this awesome competition. How great is it that we've got streaming?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And thank you to Rocktopia as well. Yeah. It's been a rush to get it all set up in this gym now, hasn't it? On the wall on the left, we've got Phoebe Kenderdine, and for our males, we've got Alexander Keishley Cornish. Got our time up in the corner there for you guys, so you can see what's going on.
So they've got 4 minutes per boulder problem, so it's not too much time. So it's really trying to get the best out of each attempt.
How many boulders do they have in this format, Zeta?
They've got 3 boulders each.
3 boulders each. So we've got 4 minutes to do each of the 3 boulders. 4 minutes on each boulder.
The male's climb is very crimpy and requires a lot of shoulder strength, so...
A lot of body tension on that.
Yeah, very tiring.
I think that's one of Alex's strengths, though, as we can see. He's making his way up on his first go.
Climber's doing really well today.
Looking for an upside-down Gaston, almost. Yeah, definitely looks like the intended bait is going to be the one to go there. Going right to the top of that long rail.
Got chalk coming at the front. Oh.
Phoebe trying for the 1-2 as well. Not quite mustering enough power to get up onto that better left-hand hold.
I wonder if they're going to go straight for the hold on the box soon, if that's the better way to do it.
They'll need a lot of lift for that, a lot of spring through their legs.
Yeah, because they've got quite low feet.
Alex has been climbing fantastically this year. He's only just come back off of a year off outdoor climbing. He's been injured and all sorts of things, and he's performing really well in the competition so far this year, making it into the finals for the Open Bouldering Championships up in Auckland, Northern Rocks, where he's a route setter.
Yeah.
And he's made the finals here now. Not doing bad at all in speed either, being one of the first times he's ever on speed.
And Phoebe's doing really well. She's currently got a finger injury, so she's making sure to get that healed up before pushing herself too hard. Got to really use your legs.
Alex just shaking out his shoulders. It's a big left shouldery move, that one, isn't it, Z?
Yeah, definitely. especially for this pink climb, they're going to have to be careful not to push themselves, like going too many attempts within their 4 minutes. Otherwise, their muscles will just get way too tired.
Yeah, they'll be tired for the next climbs. Luckily, they've got a bit of a rest between bouldering and lead climbing. You see that attempt there from Phoebe. She's going straight for that better left-hand hold. She's going with her right hand. It's a good method. Route setters thought she might do that, or some of them might do that.
She's having a think about what's the best way to go about the boulder problem. Really focused there, which is cool to see.
Game face. Alex starting to look quite a bit fatigued on that. Might throw in the towel for that round.
30 seconds left.
Both of our climbers decide that's them heading on back into the isolation zone.
Making sure the holds are nice and grippy for the next climbers, so it's an even playing field.
What's your favourite discipline to spectate, Zeta, and why?
It depends a lot on the setting. I like watching bouldering when the boulder problems are really cool and you can see different climbers doing it different ways. But I like lead climbing as well if it's a really exciting route to watch. And speed, they're all fantastic.
Especially lead climbing because they only get one attempt on that, right?
Yeah, so everyone's really
and they're done.
it.
Got Henry Booker here. On the left, we've got Kim Ford climbing for Rotorua Climbing Club. Henry Booker, Kim Ford climbing for the Christchurch Flying Geckos.
Both having a think about the best way to go about their boulder problem.
Yeah, even though they've had their viewing, you know, you don't want to be too frantic and getting straight onto the wall. They're going to take their time, check it again. Yep, that's how I'm going to do it, and they go for it.
Yeah, making sure to calm yourself down and be in a good headspace.
Yep.
I think it's one of the most important things about climbing.
Henry climbing nice and slow and controlled there, eyeing up that next hold.
Ooh.
Just coming short of being able to get on top of that and press his shoulder out.
I reckon he'll get it next time though. Look very close.
Look very comfortable on that. I think this is his style of climb. Kim's going to have another go at the dyno. And it looks like she's opting for that jumping straight to that bigger hold on the box. It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. Keeping yourself close to the wall as well is a key part of a dyno move.
Yeah, you want all your weight to be under your elbows, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't want to go flying off. But it is quite a good hold, so here goes Henry. He's going to go out for that left-hand hold.
Oh,
Again,
very close.
Just underneath that hold.
If he gets his shoulders above the hold, then I think he'll hold it.
You probably need to lock off his right arm just a little bit more to get on top of that.
Quite a strength-orientated boulder.
Kim this year, she's been in Italy and Arco representing New Zealand at the World Youth Climbing Championships. Henry last year in Moscow, Russia, representing New Zealand at the World Youth Climbing Championships.
Kim's just deciding the best way to go about this boulder problem. I wonder if she'll carry on going with the attempt using just going to the box.
Looks like Kim's getting a lot closer on that move. Here goes Henry. He's going to have to get a bit higher on this attempt.
Oh.
Again, just falling off.
Seems like he's getting slightly tired as well.
Yep, it is a very tiring first boulder. Which again, after viewing, they'll have to take into consideration what sort of boulders are the next ones. Are they going to throw it in early, or are they going to decide, nope, I'm going to keep going at this one. The next ones aren't going to take so much of my strength. It's more just coordination or balance or whatever. So yeah, be interesting to see how they play it.
The female boulder problem requires a lot of leg strength and a lot of power from the legs since the holds are quite far away, and really pushing herself off those feet holds.
And Kim's our current junior New Zealand Bouldering Championships from the junior category, so here we go, very close from Kim Ford there, just coming off with her fingertips on that dyno. Still looks like they've got 30 seconds left.
Yeah, got to push it for this last 30 seconds. Kim knows she's got it now.
Very close. And just coming short from Kim. What a shame. Looks like she'll have one more go, though, and her time remaining. Henry's going to go for that zone hold, try to secure it before the time's up. Just looking a bit too worn out, though.
Yeah.
Henry's done. Heads back into
Last
isolation.
go, it looks.
Here goes Kim.
Oh,
Big slip on the right foot. Oh, she's going one more time. Yep, just a bit puffed there. Alrighty. That was a great attempt from Kim
yeah,
and Henry.
very
Now
good.
we've got Luke Gardner
Here are our
and
next climbers
Abby
out.
Gibbett,
We've got Abby Gibbett coming out next,
Rotorua and Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing.
alongside Luke Gardner. So Abby Gibbett, she's climbing for the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association, which we're at the home venue of now. Home to New Zealand's first ever speed climbing wall. And Luke Gardner from Rotorua Climbing Club, over for the weekend.
I wonder how these climbers will go about the boulder problems.
Luke's very strong. Look at the size of those shoulders for such a young man. Abby figuring out that boulder very quickly. Luke's cruising his way up. First men's qualifier.
Looking very controlled. Oh,
Feet come off. Loses his control
It's-
between his feet and his hands.
it's quite overhang the last section of the male boulder, so they've got to really keep themselves close to the wall, and it requires a lot of grip strength.
You can sort of see the angle of the wall there, that prow coming out. It's kind of hard to tell when you're actually there, but from this angle where Abby is, you can see how overhung it is.
Abby's getting quite close using that technique.
Oh, nice slow motion replay there for you. Luke's pulling on for another attempt on the first male boulder of the day.
Abby was very close last time, so she's got a good chance this time.
Good shot here of both of our climbers.
Oh,
Again, close as from Abby. Just coming off that left hand, good hold. Nice big jug. Luke's going to have to go right to the top of this rail with his right hand. Keep his feet on tight. He's holding it.
small feet holds.
Not feeling quite comfortable with that right hand up the top yet. It's looking like he's opting for a different method. Looks like he's going to have to commit to it though.
Yeah, it's the only way.
As he takes his left foot out, his hips just come out too far. He can't hold his tension in there. Here goes Abby.
Oh,
So close.
got to focus on that grip strength when she gets to that hold. She knows she can get to it now, so it's quite a mental game for her.
Yeah, Abby's got a very good head game. She stays very calm and relaxed the whole time she's competing. She never looks stressed out or anything. She's always just focused. Here she goes for another attempt.
Very close.
Abby's certainly one of the youngest female competitors for our finalists here. She's second year youth B, meaning she was born in 2003 or 4. So how awesome is that for her to be in an open championship?
Yeah, really cool. Luke's going to have to commit to this move now.
Inching his right hand up there. Looks like he's opting to get his left foot right up high where his hand was just before.
Oh, so close.
So close on that hold. Unfortunately, that's not even the zone hold though, so Abby will not get awarded any points for that. The only holds that count in bouldering competitions are the zone hold and the top hold. The competitors will be counted on their number of attempts to reach that hold.
So right now, the first 3 female competitors will be tied because... Oh,
Abby's getting certainly the closest so far though, out of sticking that dyno. Luke really just inching up there. Decides to flick his right hand up right at the last minute, but just coming short.
must be a very bad right hand hold.
Next climbers out. Looks like we'll have Tom Walden and Erica Gatland.
Erica Gatland.
Erica's a very strong boulderer, so it'll be
Erica's a very strong boulder.
exciting to see how she goes on this one.
She's qualified first equal for bouldering, and she competed in the Austria World Championships. Tom is our current speed record holder, but looks like it may be broken by Chase Gatlin after this competition. And Tom is also our current bouldering champion
Erica
from
straight
Auckland.
onto it. Oh. She's got a lot of spring in her, so that's a bonus.
Yep, Erica, a very dynamic climber,
Tom's looking very relaxed.
as always.
Yes.
So the results for our climbers will go into Picky after the climbers finish their 4 minutes. Start order is wrong on Picky, however. Looks like a lot of climbers are trying for that sort of upside down Gaston with the right hand there, but realizing they do need to go right up to the top of that.
It must be quite bad then, that hold.
Trying to pinch the gel text there. Gel texture means the hold is completely shiny on one side and grippy on the other. Tom managing to somehow hold on to that. Look at that flexibility. He's nearly getting his foot up that high.
He's doing very well keeping himself on in this position.
Doesn't look like he's quite able to reach his right foot up that high though.
Eric is having another go. Oh,
Awesome close attempt there from Erica as well.
it was a very dynamic attempt, which was good to see.
Tom Walden living in Christchurch, studying at university, still representing Rotorua Climbing Club, however. And we've got Erica Gatlin, who is living in Palmerston North, not exactly the climbing centre of New Zealand. She's climbing representing Auckland, is, I believe, where she started climbing.
Oh, yay.
Awesome go there from Erica, sticking the dyno, secures the zone hold. Done to cruise through these last moves here.
Doing
She's on the
really
two
well.
crimps.
Oh,
Gaston out to the last hold. And she matches top there. First top of the day from Erica Gatlin.
made it look easy.
As soon as she stuck that dyno, she did. She cruised right through it. And here goes Tom.
That dino required a lot of commitment, really throwing herself at it.
Tom's still opting to go for that right hand Gaston upside down. Be interesting to see how he's going to get through this section, or how he thinks he will.
His left shoulder will be getting
Yeah.
very worn out.
Playing around with his feet a bit. Yep, going right up how the root set is intended there. Starting to come back down. Just playing around. Tom's one of those climbers who can spend a long time on the wall trying to figure things out, because he's just got that endurance and patience.
Yep, definitely.
He's falling off the second to last hold there, Tom.
About 50 seconds left.
Just under a minute left. Some of our root setters up there. Tyler Fleury and Wiz Finneron. It's probably quite nerve-wracking as a root setter watching people climb your climbs and not knowing how they're going to do, if they're going to do it the right way, and
Oh,
is it going
definitely,
to
and
cause the
hoping that-
separation you need.
Yeah, hoping people will go the intended route as well.
Yeah, you won't want them figuring out some tricky way that you didn't even think of. It'd be really gutting. Doesn't look like that's happened so far. We've still got quite a way to go.
Tom's got about 15 seconds left.
They have to rocket through these last moves.
He knows this part pretty well by now.
Again, still looking slow and controlled, however. 5 seconds. Clock's just slightly out.
Oh. Really good effort from those climbers there.
All right, Chase and Sue is
Next
coming in.
climbers
We're
out, we've got
waiting for
Chase Gatlin holding the unofficial speed record for New Zealand, and Cirrus Tan. Chase has come over from Australia for this competition. He's representing Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. We've got Cirrus Tan up from Christchurch. Definitely one of the more seasoned climbers in this field.
Both having a look at how they're going to go about their climb. Chase is pulling on.
Chase has come over for a few comps in New Zealand, one of which being the Showdown, which is a private invitational comp, and winning that at Tyler Fleury's personal climbing wall. It was quite a good one. Chase coming very close on his first attempt there, just spitting out towards the last hold.
And Ceres is doing well as well. She's using the double hand technique.
Coming very close to sticking it there.
So Ceres is using the beta that was expected to be used, that the route setters chose.
Climbers are able to ask the brushes to come up and brush off all the chalk and skin and everything off those holds there. Luckily, we've got a bunch of brand new holds over for this competition from Europe that the Sport Climbing Association in Bay of Plenty has ordered in. Nice to have brand new holds and shapes, make it fair for everyone.
Oh, definitely. Oh, she sticks it.
Sticks the dyno. Secures the zone hold. Will she cruise up these last few moves as Erica did?
Using a heel hook for that long move.
Left hand crimp, right hand crimp. She's just going to have to Gaston out to the last hold now.
Yes, she sticks it.
Top there from Cirrus Tan. Second top of the day. Got Chase in the background. Just inching up the last few moves again. Just under half his time remaining on the wall. Looking very strong from that.
So it looks like for the female climb that the first half is the trickier part.
Yeah.
So once they get past that.
As soon as they've secured the jump, they seem to, cruise up the last few moves, don't they?
Yeah.
Chase here. So the intended move for that final, those final couple of pink moves was another windmill out. So you got your right hand up right on that rail, and you're going to bump it out to that top hold. And you have to be quite accurate because there's a blocker hold on top of it.
Yeah.
Chase is coming quite close. He's got just over a minute remaining.
Might have room for one or two more attempts, depending on how he goes.
Alrighty, Chase pulls on for another attempt. Could well be his last one.
He's looking very calm and collected.
Great body tension from Chase. Looks like he's inching up towards where the route setters wanted them to put their hand. Coming back down to that right hand Gaston. Will he make it? Don't think he'll have time for another attempt.
He did very well though.
Alrighty, that's Chase. Our next climbers out will be George Sanders up from Wellington and Taylor Manning over from Taranaki. So Taylor's an exciting competitor for this weekend because of the past 4 competitions that we've had in New Zealand, the 2 youth competitions, the lead in bouldering and the open lead in bouldering, Taylor has won all 4.
Yeah, so if she wins this comp today, then it would be
5 out of 5.
quite exciting.
Got George Sanders here from Wellington. He's the Oceania lead champion. Very strong all-round climber, placing good times in speed. He's also a very strong boulderer. Coming very close to winning in Auckland at the Open Bouldering Championships. Again, chalking up, hanging off those small crimps.
Taylor's going for her 3rd attempt.
Didn't quite commit to that move there, George.
So there's been no tops for the male problems so far. So it'll be exciting to see if
Good to see if we can get one.
But
George Sanders has represented New Zealand at quite a few World Cups in the past couple of years, doing 2 World Cups in China last year. He also went to the World Championships in Austria, and this year as well he's been to the China World Cups.
Taylor went to Italy this year with the Climbing New Zealand team at the Youth World Olympics.
I believe that was her first world competition that
Yeah,
she's ever been in.
Such a good experience for us New Zealand climbers.
Looks like George isn't thinking about getting his right foot up high on that little chip there you see. It's almost just one screw holding in that little foot. Little like witch's nose sort of thing.
Because it'll be very hard jumping out with his left arm, as we saw before.
Yes. He's taking his time, rethinking how he's going to do it. Here's Taylor going again.
Getting close.
Yeah, she seems to be coming close to the dyno, not quite stuck it yet. Again, George still hasn't got his feet quite up that high. You almost wonder, has he missed the hold or something?
Yeah, he's definitely thinking about it though.
Spinning out, yeah, I think you really need your right high foot to keep your body tension to be able to go for that palm down on the zone hold there.
You can see the pink hold quite clearly though, so maybe he feels not as
need it,
comfortable
yeah.
putting his foot on it.
Interesting. Just under a minute left for these climbers. Taylor's not wasting too much time in between attempts, knowing it's not fatiguing her too much. She's getting closer and closer on that.
Getting her left hand up onto it. Only 30 seconds left. Climbers will be getting slightly flustered now.
There we go. George's right foot is up high. He sticks the zone hold. A lot closer from Taylor there as well.
Now he's got to navigate this tricky top section.
Time certainly becoming a pressure now. Just under 10 seconds remaining. Can he get to the last hold?
Oh,
Just falling off that second to last hold there.
the
Shame
time's
for
finished
George.
now.
Close as well for Taylor. So we've seen 2 tops from the females so far. No tops from the males. Out next, we've got Youth Olympic Games competitor Sarah Tetzlaff. She hates it when I say that. And we've got Elliot Kaye over from New Caledonia, placing the fastest time and speed for sure. Both of these two. After these two, we'll move on to our next block.
So they're both having a look at their blocks.
Choosing to match out left.
Sarah's just full on her first attempt.
I love that Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association uniform. It's really cool and colourful, and we were making that comment earlier. It looks like the speedball, doesn't it?
We've got Sarah's nickname Kappa on the back.
Kappa. I think that's from when we went to Russia, because Cyrillic for Sarah is...
Well, it looked like Kappa.
yeah, C-A-P-A in English, but in Russian it looks like that. Sarah coming real close to sticking that dyno there.
Elliot's pulling on again.
He doesn't seem to have made it much past this first move just here.
He's the only international competitor in our finals today.
Good to have one of them make the finals. Makes it a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
Just going a bit dynamic for that next move there. Sarah's pulling on for another attempt.
Thinking about her beta for this attempt. Oh, she gets it.
Yep, route setters thought they might do that, go straight for the dyno. Now, if anything's been telling about our past climbers, they're going to go straight, cruising up these last few moves here.
So she secured the zone. Now heading for the top move.
Heel hook, flagging behind her. She's going to go right up for that top
Right,
hold.
switch to a toe, yep.
Gaston on the left hand for Sarah on the last hold.
Oh, so close.
So close.
Got a minute 40 seconds left.
Yep, just over a minute remaining for these two climbers. Lots of people crammed out onto the deck to watch in for our round of bouldering here at the first ever Open Combined Championships for New Zealand, having just had our speed wall built 3 days ago. See if Elliot can navigate past this next move here. All the climbers have so far.
It requires a lot of control, this move.
Elliot is definitely our best speed climber in this competition, which will stead him well for the combined podium. Sarah sticks the dyno again.
Just under a minute remaining. And she knows she can she's just got the last move that she needs to get.
Coming very close on her first attempt. Sarah's going to put her right hand up for that crimp. Chooses to bump up, double up with the left hand, coming back down. Right hand now on that last crimp. She's going to have to switch to a toe. Go over for that last Gaston.
Gotta really commit to this last move.
Keeps the heel in. Looking quite fatigued. Coming so close to the last hold there, just on the tips of her fingers, sliding off.
I wonder if she'll give it one more attempt to... No.
Looks like both these climbers are done. Going back into isolation, we'll be moving on to our next block now. It's our MC for this afternoon, David Treefrog.
Second round about to start. Yeah, here we go with the second round.
Righty. Climbers out first are Caleb Bryan and Kerry Shibahara. Caleb up from Christchurch, Kerry up from Wellington.
The next two blocks look exciting, so be cool to see how the climbers go on these.
Oh yeah, we were viewing these ones. I think they're the quite more dynamic ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Shortly our cameras will switch over to that.
Oh, here they are already on the wall.
Caleb here having to go for that drive-by, sticks it, cutting loose. Awesome body tension there, keeping his hands on. He's going up to that crimp. He's going to have to cross over again or go out to another Gaston. Goes out to the slight Gaston. Not much in the way of feet up here. It's quite awkward. Awesome high feet there from Caleb.
Kerry's doing well. I'm using the static technique.
Caleb just coming close around that corner. Just right up towards the top of that climb. Yep, Kitty seems to be able to have done that quite statically, that move there.
Yeah. So this zone hold she's going for is quite flat.
Yeah.
And not the easiest.
Big sloping hold there.
So she secured the zone.
Gonna have to make her way up into the underclean on
Doing
the
really well.
switcher there. Just coming off before the third to last hold. Both climbers have secured the zone on their first attempt by the looks of it. Just taking a breather before they pull on again.
Deciding if they're going to use the same beta or change it up for their next attempt. I've got just under 2 minutes 30 left.
Just over half their time remaining. Climber Caddy is pulling back onto the wall. And she's doing this very statically, crimping the edges of that arete there to go on over. Be interesting to see if anyone does do that dynamically.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier using the static method.
It's a lot more stable at least. Caleb just coming off that
Oh,
drive by.
Kerry's pushing into the purple box, purple volume.
When's the last time you competed at a competition, Zeta?
It was earlier this year, but I injured my finger, hit a growth plate. injury, so I've been off for the rest of this year.
It's quite a common injury amongst climbers, isn't it?
It is quite common, yeah, especially in speed climbing, our statistics show.
So what have you had to do for that?
I've been off for the past, well, I injured it about a year ago, but just resting, and I had a surgery that's quite rare actually, but it looks like it's worked and I should be able to climb in about a month.
Think we'll see you at another competition anytime soon?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, once I better.
Carry on the zone hold there. Bringing her feet up high. She's going to have to go into the underside of that. Big purple volume. Just coming off again for the second to last hold. Looks like both climbers have had enough. They're going to go back into their isolation zones. Out next, we've got Alexander Keishley-Cornish and Phoebe Kenderdine. These first two boulders are quite, for the males, these two pink boulders, they involve a lot of strength, don't they, and body tension. But yeah, crimpy. But looks like this climb here involves quite a bit more movement than the first one. A bit more modern now. Route setters have done an awesome job so far seeing these boulders. They're quite interesting and good to watch.
I wonder if Phoebe will go for the static method or if she'll use the dynamic method.
Seeing a few bits of tape on the fingers there. Phoebe with a slightly injured finger. Got that taped up. Both climbers pulling onto the wall. Looks like Phoebe's gonna go static as well. She's facing this way.
I wonder if the route setters knew that this could be an option for the climbers.
I think they were saying they thought it would be, but I think Pete thinks it's a lot more tiring to go that way than as opposed to just stepping out. It
And
requires a
takes
lot more
much
body
longer.
tension. Yeah, it takes a lot longer too. You can see Phoebe has to really be careful. She's not going to dab on the ground or anything. Dabbing is where you accidentally touch something you're not allowed to in climbing. Slowly having to figure it out. Manages to do it. Alex making his way towards the zone hold.
Looks like she's going to get across up to the zone now.
Yep. Alex opting for a different beta. Not quite sticking the zone hold. Phoebe has secured the zone hold. Maybe not.
The wall that the male boulder is on is quite overhung as well, so tricky for them to hang on, especially with those tiny crimps.
That's true. They're using the old moon, where the moon wall would normally be, as the angle for that climb.
Oh, Phoebe's pulling up. She's got to now go back into the purple volume.
She's got the zone hold there. Just coming off the zone hold there for Phoebe Kenderdine. Alex making his way up, sticking that big drive by Dino.
Heel hook.
Dead point. Cut loose, he's still on there though.
Drives so
setters
much
said-
tension.
yeah, the route setters said that foot around the left-hand side would be a bit awkward there.
They're both shaking out,
Yeah,
getting ready for the next attempt.
Quite-
Both of these climbs are
quite
quite
physical boulders, aren't they?
tiring. Yeah, especially the male one.
Yeah, Phoebe's able to have a bit of a rest there, standing between those two holds. Still opting for the static method. I do believe we'll see some people try it the dynamic way, as the route setters intended. Alex Casey has got quite a bit of tape on his fingers there. I think he's hurt his fingers as well.
Yeah, a lot of climbing this weekend from all the competitors.
Especially with all these brand new holds in the speedball, you do lose a lot of skin. Your
Yeah.
tips are getting worn down. Brand new holds, they've got lots of texture on them. Maybe just sliding off that big sloping hold. Alex coming close to sticking the zone hold. He has stuck it once, so he has secured it, but he has not got there since. Sounds like a minute left to go for our climbers. Buzzer, oh, the timer buzzes at 1 minute remaining and when their time is done.
those small pink poles look very difficult to jump to, especially that dynamically.
And if you're doing that jump over and over again when you're still only halfway through the competition, you're going to be using a lot of skin there, so you might have to take it a bit slower. Who knows?
Yeah, and your wrist feels so short.
Yeah.
Very tired.
Definitely. Another big shout out to our sponsors, Rab and the North Face. Thank you so much, guys, for sponsoring this competition, providing us with us some awesome spot prizes and podium prizes. Thank you to the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association for building the first ever speed wall in New Zealand, especially Rob Moore. Big thank you as well to all the volunteers and judges who have come along and made this competition possible. Thank you to Rocktopia for lending us your facility for this competition.
Competition's running really well this weekend. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves, and the climbs and boulders are amazing.
Everything seems to be going smoothly as well. We haven't had any big hiccups or anything, so yeah, it's been a good competition. Got Henry Booker out from Rotorua Climbing Club and Kim Ford up from Christchurch. Henry Booker, otherwise known by a lot of his friends and other climbers as Banana Boy. Some interesting reasons. He carries around loaves of banana bread and bananas to every competition. That's quite unique. He's good fun. He came to Russia with Zita and I last year for the World Youth Championships.
Yeah, he did really well. Looks like Kim's opting for the static method this time.
Kim having done her first ever world competition this year at Arco in Italy, representing New Zealand at, again, the World Youth Championships. Good to have both these climbers in the finals here, especially in open competition, versing adults. Henry coming close to sticking that first zone hold. Not quite making it.
Kim's having a think about the best way to go about this.
Yeah, she's doing some unique things going on over there. She's not quite sure where she wants to put her feet yet. She opts for the static method that everyone has done so far.
She's quite flexible as well, so
yeah,
it makes it easier.
Useful.
Yeah, flexibility is a big part in climbing.
Especially bouldering and lead climbing, not so much speed climbing, but you can utilize a lot more rest that other competitors wouldn't have, using walls or holds to be able to get your hips in close and yeah, take the weight off your hands. Henry with a nice high heel there, thinking about that. Doesn't look like he'll opt for it though.
You've really just got to go for it.
Goes back to the straight diagonal. Just coming short of the zone hold. Shaking his hands out, looks like he's burning them through.
Kim just slipped off that zone hold before. Both having a think about their next attempt, resting up.
About halfway through their time here on the second boulder. Still got quite a bit of time to have a rest and another couple of good goes. Kim pulls back on. Looks like she's still opting for the static method.
She's having a bit of a rest there. Henry's doing well.
Double underclinging, choosing to go out to that left hand first. Bruce says didn't intend that. Doesn't look like it's the easiest way to do that. We haven't seen anyone successfully do that so far. Kim's at the zone hold.
The pink male climb requiring a lot of body tension in order to stick that hold. Really
lock off and engage your shoulders when you go for that move, don't you? By the looks of it.
Yeah.
So when you make finals in a competition, Zita, how do you feel? Do you feel nervous, excited?
A mixture of both, I guess, but I'd feel more nervous if I'm qualifying further up the ranks, because it's more pressure in order to stay in your position.
Yes, whereas if you're qualifying last, you've got everything to gain, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot more pressure on the top qualifiers for that. That makes perfect sense, actually. So would you rather ideally qualify 8th into a finals?
Oh, I'd always rather qualify further up, because you've just got to make sure your mental game's playing well, because that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. How much of climbing do you reckon is mental as opposed to just your physical strength, and how do you think that plays out in a competition?
Oh, like a large amount is definitely mental, because sometimes in competitions I know I've got the strength and technique for it, but it's my mental game that lets me down.
Looks like our climbers are going to head on back into isolation.
They did very well on those.
Not quite securing the zone hold, Henry there. Our next climbers out, we've got Luke Gardner, also from Rocktopia Climbing Club, and Abby Gibbert over in her hometown, just over the road in Papamoa, climbing for Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. It's interesting what you're saying though about the, you know, putting pressure on yourself in the competition when you're qualifying up further, because I think a lot of the time these climbers, they could perform, some of them perform really well when they're training and everything. They don't put any pressure on themselves.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
then in a competition, your head game or your mental ability is the extent to which you can reach your upper threshold or how good you are at climbing, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a much different atmosphere in a competition, but some people say they do climb better in a competition environment.
Yeah, some people like the pressure. Luke Gardner making this climb look very easy. He didn't have to cut loose at all for that first move.
No, sticking those holds.
Cruising through those tiny crimps. Secured the zone hold on this first go. Abby looking very flexible over there, going up high, not having to drop down too low for the static method.
No. He's coming close to the zone hold now.
You have to be careful though when you're navigating those lower volumes that your feet don't touch the ground, because you will be called off the wall for that.
Yeah. Yeah, rules are quite tight in national competitions following the IFSC rules.
Not allowed to touch outside any black tape marked zones. Doesn't look like we have many in the bouldering room though. Abby secures the zone hold.
Yeah, now she's got to get up high, keeping close to the wall.
Another great example of flexibility. When you can get your hips nice and close to the wall, you're going to take a lot of the pressure off your hands, aren't you?
Oh, first climber to secure up to the purple volume. A lot of shoulder tension required.
Bit of a grimace on Abby's face there, just coming off. Here's Luke Gardner again looking very comfortable on these small holds. Just coming off that right hand there. Our route set has told us those two holds on that next volume he's going for. The lower one is certainly worse than the next one up.
Yeah. Yeah, your fingers will get very tired on this climb.
It's good though, because he's not going quite so dynamic for that big right hand windmilling move.
No.
He's keeping his feet on, so he's probably saving, yeah, a lot of energy and skin on his hands.
Yeah, the worst thing is once your skin starts to get painful, it makes the whole competition much more difficult.
If your fingertips split, you're not allowed to bleed on the wall, so you have to deal with that and you have to tape them up. And of course, when you've got tape on your fingertips, you've got less friction, grip, yeah. Luke pulling back on, just over a minute left on this round. Luke is a first-year Youth A climber. And he's been to multiple world competitions for the Youth Championships, World Youth Championships.
Abby's doing the start of her climb quite smoothly. About a minute left.
Luke sticking the zone again. Starting not to go out for that left-hand crimp just there. Instead matching on the lower zone hold, which is probably a better hold. Almost looked a little bit closer to sticking it there.
So do you think the climbing style has been changing the last few years in New Zealand?
I think definitely in New Zealand we've seen it catching up more to the World Cup style of being more dynamic and involving a lot more movement, as opposed to sort of old school bouldering where you're just pulling down hard. Starting to see a lot more in this competition with, you know, big futuristic movements, especially in these boulders in the next couple, if we see any do the dynamic method for these. So yeah, it's been really exciting seeing New Zealand start to catch up. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, New Zealand's really doing well in these past few years. And this year especially, there's been a lot of change within the competition scene.
I agree. I think the route setters are starting to focus a lot more on bringing New Zealand up to speed in the style of climbing that's offered at a nationals competition compared to that which is at a world's competition. Here come our next two climbers, Tom Walden, representing Rocktopia Climbing Club, and Erica Gatlin from Palmerston North, living in Palmerston North, representing the Auckland Climbing Club.
So Erica was one of the two climbers to top her last boulder problem, so...
Yes, she's seeded well so far, and they've only got 3 boulders in this final round.
Yeah, no one's topped this one so far, so she might do quite well in it.
Was she the first to top the previous boulder as well?
Yes, she was, yeah, and made it quite easy work of it after getting that dyno move.
Almost looked like Erica was going to opt for the dynamic movement. She's eyeing it up, but she seems just decided to go for the static. Tom just coming off the zone hold there. He won't be awarded that. To be awarded a point for a hold, you need to secure or show you're in control of using that.
Erica's cruising through that section using the static method.
And Erica doing well, coming off having some food poisoning the other night to still be climbing well in this competition, especially making finals and doing well in it. Very strong boulderer.
Keeping her hips close to the wall here is a key part of this move. And really well.
Nice high foot there from Erica, matching the underside of that hold.
This is the furthest the female has got on this boulder problem so far.
Coming right up to the last move here. She sticks it, her left hand is on. 2 hands on the top hold for Erica Gatlin there. Awesome top.
Flash from Erica.
Fantastic work there from Erica. We're going to get a little replay of that. Feet flail through the air just a little bit, but she secures it. Now we'll go back to watching Tom Walden. Nice to have the crowd all just focus on you. Feel that energy pushing you up as they're cheering for you.
Tom's got very good grip strength, so...
Yeah, that's one of the things I definitely think he's best at. His contact strength, he's very lightweight and his hands just stick to anything.
And the control he shows, like and calmness.
Gonna go out for that Gaston by the looks of it with the right hand. Oh, he goes left hand first.
That top hold is better that he's holding onto with his right hand.
It's looking very good for Tom here. This is the furthest we've seen anyone get on this boulder apart from Caleb. Very close around those 2 opposing holds just on the corner there. Awesome attempt there from Tom.
He's doing really well. All the climbers are doing very well today. The speed and bouldering so far.
Yeah, Tom Walden is our current open bouldering champ for New Zealand. Choosing to keep representing his home club of Rotorua Climbing Club. Training down in Christchurch, outdoors and in. This year he's attended multiple World Cup competitions. He's been to China for the Open Bouldering and Speed World Cups. He went to the World Championships in Hachioji in Tokyo.
Yeah, he's been all over.
And yes, this is his last year in World Youth Championships, so he went over to Arco, Italy as well.
Tom used to never use chalk when he climbed, so...
Yeah, it's funny seeing him start to use that. He's got very dry hands. Big grimace there from Tom, gritting his teeth, sticking that hold. Good footwork there. Tongue out.
Very focused. Look how small those holds are.
Awesomely high foot there from Tom. Just pushing his other hand off almost. It's funny, you saw his tongue out there. I was talking to one of our sports psychologists about that. He reckons a lot of tension is held in the mouth. So when you're gritting your teeth together, you're tense. So often you'll see climbers or people who are under a lot of exertion poke their tongue out and to keep them a bit more relaxed.
It wouldn't be good to fall when your tongue's out.
Oh my gosh, that would be horrible.
I've heard stories about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh. Here we've got Chase Gatlin holding the current unofficial New Zealand speed record. Made this morning of 8 seconds 99, and we've got Cyrus Tan up from Christchurch.
Chase is pulling on.
Cyrus is a personal trainer and a coach. Chase, he's a dental surgeon. He's over from Australia.
He's making easy work of his first move.
Hot day today by the looks of it. Cruising through.
I think getting your left hand on the higher hold will be easier since it's better for the next move in the male climb.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a few different ways you can do that middle section there and that awesome sort of star shape that the root setters have made there. Watch Cyrus now, see if she'll go for the dynamic move. Yes, she will.
Ooh.
Easy. It's a bit more low percentage, that move, but I think it saves you a bit of energy.
But it's quite a good hold that they're going for.
Yes, it's a nice big undercling. take off a lot of time by going straight for that.
So there's only been one top for the female climbers so far. And that was by Erica Gatlin before.
And on the last boulder as well, it's the same thing. Erica was the first one to top it, followed by Cirrus. Will we see a repeat? Who knows? Jay's taking his time before he's jumping back on. He's just chalking up.
Making sure to rest as this climb's very energy demanding.
Just over 2 minutes.
It's a nice day here in Mount Maunganui now. The sun's come out for us.
Wind's gone away. We had a little bit of drizzle this morning at the speedball. Chase Johnson on his last attempt there, really hanging off the wall as he was going for that zone hold. Sarah's wiping her feet. Quite chalky floors in here. You know, a lot of climbers have been in here this weekend. So it's good to take a towel out with you, something to rub the chalk off your rubbery shoes on.
Yeah.
Bit of frustration there from Chase.
I wonder if Cirrus will use the dynamic attempt. Oh,
Misses
just
the feet.
missing it.
Goes down into the ground. Good work, Sarah. Awesome stuff. She's looking like she's enjoying it.
Yeah. Always important to focus on your feet and make sure they're going to the right hold.
That's the thing about this sort of more modern style of bouldering too, though. It involves a lot of coordination and, you know, the speed of which you can move your hands and feet. Not necessarily on hard moves, but just in little steps and everything.
It's quite parkour-like sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
Jumping between holds.
Parkour bouldering. Here goes Chase. He's been through a few attempts here, going for that zone hold. Not quite as good as his first attempt. He hasn't quite made it. On his first attempt, he was looking very solid.
Yeah, he got quite far.
Yeah, but he didn't quite get around to the arete.
Maybe a bit more rest is what's needed.
He's looking a bit frustrated though, but still choosing to take his time, breathe.
Got just under a minute left.
Keeping an eye on the clock there. Ceres is back on the wall. Sticking that dynamic move.
He's reaching up to the zone now. Oh, Chase sticks that hold.
Chooses to go right hand first so you can get your left hand up higher onto that better hold.
Oh, look at him
Good
go.
body tension there. He's got 10 seconds left. Will he make it out? He sticks the hand around the corner. He's on the arete.
Oh, wow. 30 seconds. Oh, he gets it.
Our time is just fast, so he did get awarded that top right on 1 second before he was due to come off the wall. So fantastic work there from Chase Gatlin, just pulling it together on that last attempt.
It must have been so stressful for him.
It would have been.
He's just going for it on those last few moves, as we see now.
Very pleased with that.
Yeah, that was the first top from the males.
Yes, first top in the whole comp, in fact, yeah. Apart from the speedball, of course. Here's George Sanders and Taylor Manning. George powerfully sticking that first zone hold. Looking very springy on this.
Yeah. So George and Taylor are both currently qualifying second for the day.
Second after speed.
Yeah,
right?
second after speed,
after
yeah.
Speed. Good strength there from George, keeping his tension in. Here's that left thumb. He's going to go around for that corner arete. Inches his way up.
Oh,
Very close from
so
George
close.
there. Taylor in the background just taking her time.
Oh, slips
Opted
there.
for the static method and yeah, touched the ground. So we're caught in his hair there.
Taking some rest here before going again.
Yep, it's a very, very challenging boulder, this one. So yeah, you want to take all the rest you can. Taylor in the background again, opting for the static method. This time doesn't touch the ground. Going out for the undercling. Brings her feet on through. She's going to go for that zone hold shortly.
She's looking pretty secure at the moment.
Nice high little drop knee there.
So we've had one top on each of the boulder problems so far. These current boulder problems from the males and the females.
Taylor just taking her time. She's not quite sure what to make of this next hold. Secures it. 2 hands on that big ball-shaped sloper. Coming close to the undercling on that next volume. Again, this is a very important competition for Taylor. I don't know how much pressure she puts on herself, though, because I think herself and her coaches have told herself every time, you know, it's just a fluke that I've won the past 4 competitions this year.
Yeah, but now it's come to the last competition.
Who knows what's going to happen. George launching up, just under 2 minutes remaining for both these climbers.
It's looking pretty chalky in there as well.
See it all flying all over the atmosphere. Get a very dry nose and mouth when you're in there breathing a lot.
Yeah. Important for the climbers to stay hydrated throughout the day. It's
Yes,
an easy
definitely.
thing to forget.
Especially when it's nice and warm and sunny. George sticks the zone hold, bringing his feet back into contact with those slippery volumes.
A lot of focus coming from him, which is really good.
Going to bring his left foot high. His left hand is going to go over into that better hold. Awesome strength show from there from George. Committing half to the move and chalking up halfway through. He sticks the right hand. He's at the last hold. Much more time left than Chase. Great top there from George Sanders.
Wow.
Looks very pleased with that.
Second top on the male boulder.
Now just focus on Taylor. In opting for the static method. Takes quite a bit more time by the looks. Yeah, more secure.
Quite a bit of balance, I think.
Will she be able to make it up into this volume? I've only seen 1 top so far, as you were saying, on this second boulder for the females from Erica Gatlin. Taylor calls it a day for that boulder. She's going back into isolation. Next climber's out. Currently placed in first for after speed is Elliot Kayet from New Caledonia and Sarah Tetzlaff from Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. Elliot is our only international competitor in this finals. See what he makes of the second boulder.
And a big thanks to Rab and the North Face for sponsoring us today, and Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association for hosting this competition.
Thank you guys for all your work and the stuff you provide us with. Thank you for making these competitions possible. Here goes Sarah. It'll be interesting to see how she reads this boulder. She's a very good dynamic climber.
Getting her feet up high, more stability, I think.
Looks like she's thinking about the static method. She is eyeing up that next hold almost. Oh, interesting. Sort of half dynamic, half static there.
Yeah, Sarah's had quite a bit of practice on the World Cup style problems from her overseas competition travelling.
Definitely one of the more, well, probably the most experienced climber for females in New Zealand with World Cups.
Competing at the Youth Olympics.
Yep, Youth Olympic Games last year in Buenos Aires. After qualifying first in the first Oceania Combined Championships in New Caledonia. It was a really exciting day for us, having a New Zealand to make it through to that.
Definitely, yeah.
She did the large part of the circuit this year over in Europe and Asia for the World Cups, doing lots of speed, lead and bouldering World Cups.
Such good experience, international competitions.
Sure is, especially when we're starting to evolve more and
experiencing the pressure that they provide.
Yes, so when you come back to a competition in New Zealand, it doesn't seem
quite
so
much
serious.
More relaxed.
Yeah, you can enjoy yourself a bit more because in those international competitions, you've got crowds of thousands sometimes, don't you?
Oh yeah, and they're all watching you.
How did you find that compared, New Zealand competitions compared to when we were in Russia, having a bigger crowd?
I got so nervous for lead climbing because it's that one attempt that really counts.
Is it hearing the people cheer though? Is it having lots of people watching?
I think it's
what's
like
different about it?
Queuing up and just watching them climb before you, and just in the seats and tying in. It's stressful. Makes me get nervous even when I think about it now.
Yeah, I suppose especially when you're climbing against some of the best climbers in the world.
Yeah.
Sarah coming close there on that right hand Gaston out into the underside of that purple volume. Elliot not having too much success yet with this first move.
Yeah, he's having a look
boulder.
at the best way to go about it for his next attempt. So these are our last 2 climbers on this block before we move on to the next block.
Opting for a double-handed dyno there to the zone hold. Might almost be a bit small to get both your hands on there easily.
Looks like a very small hold.
But who knows, it could be interesting if he does stick it. As we were saying though, there's a lot of different ways that climbers read climbs often and, you know, play to their strengths and weaknesses, how they're going to do it.
And sometimes it can be so frustrating because you don't figure out the intended beta until after you've climbed it.
Yeah, you find that so often, eh? And you go
Yeah.
have a go after the competition, you get it first go.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Still looks like Erica's been the only top for females so far. Got about 40 seconds left for these climbers.
I mean, like we saw with Chase, you know, he only got it right in the last few seconds.
Yeah.
Often, sometimes you will time out when you're getting right close or when you figure out that right beta.
Yeah, so you never know. It's always frustrating if you figure out the beta like 10 seconds before your time's up.
Who knows though, we could see a top pair from Sarah Tetzlaff. Got about 20 seconds left for both of these climbers.
Oh, look.
Sarah sticks
Doing
it into
well.
the other side of that volume.
She knows she has...
Oh, such a shame.
I think
Another,
the time pressure got to her
Yeah.
there.
there's another volume around the side that you can't quite see on the camera there that the route setters wanted them to do a drop knee off of. I don't think we've seen that yet.
No, not yet.
That's good. We're on to our third and final boulder of the day. So again out, we've got Caleb Bryant and Kerry Shibahara.
The climbers must still be getting quite tired now.
Yeah, luckily they'll have a rest in between now and the lead climbing, of course.
Yeah, because these blocks are quite demanding in energy-wise.
And these 2 boulders look very cool as well. These big, nice, scoopy, open holds.
Yeah, this pink one looks amazing.
We've got the route setters to explain the moves to us for these 2 first ones. Seems like the males are going to have to press into the underside of that volume.
Oh, with their left hand,
Yep.
and then
Get
out
intention.
right to the zone.
Kerry's sticking the first move there, but not quite swinging her feet through to put her feet on the foot catch that you need to stop yourself swinging off that big donut volume.
That's a
big
dual
hold.
text volume as well.
Yes.
So it's quite slippery on the outside and only grippy on the inside.
You can see the light reflecting off of it. She's coming closer. She needs to stab her foot out into that lower big volume-shaped hold there.
Yeah.
Caleb sticking the first move. He's making his way towards the zone. Coming close.
He's figuring out that first section.
Route setters said they'd need to pop out for that zone hold, so we'll see what happens, see if they'll figure it out.
A lot of these male climbs today have required a lot of shoulder tension and strength.
Yeah, we have actually seen that, come to think of it. All 3 of these, it's either been pulling,
Yeah.
pushing, compressing, you know, pushing out or in.
Yeah, very tiring. I guess that's why fitness is also a big part of climbing. You've got to keep going and going.
Yeah, on these long days, you know, you've got lots of climbing to do. This format is very physically demanding, so
Yeah.
you do have to be very fit. Not good endurance just as in stamina, but also just
Kerry
strength.
was close on that attempt.
Getting a nice shout out there from the MC at this venue, David Treefrog, also the president of Climbing New Zealand.
If you'd like to watch the action live, please go around the outside of the building.
Thank you for tuning in to us today.
Yeah, thank you. It's really appreciated. It's really exciting to now be able to run a combined format for the New Zealand Championships.
Oh, Kerry nearly sticking that hold.
We'll be calculating the scores to go into the lead component.
Caleb choosing to grab hold of that little footer there.
Kerry's having to think about if she's going to change her beta for her next attempt or continue with what she was previously doing. She's looking quite comfortable on the ball.
I do believe Kerry qualified in first equal for bouldering before today.
That'll be exciting
wow.
stuff to watch. Once again, big shout out to Rocktopia.
Caleb getting towards the zone hold, eyeing it up very close there. He's doing the little pop out that the route setters intended.
And the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association.
Oh, it's just getting those feet on as well as the hands for the female boulder, I think.
She seems to just be a little bit behind on bringing her right hand up to stop her swinging through. Let's go, Caleb.
He's quite close there.
He's touching the zone hold. He hasn't secured it yet. Just under a minute remaining for our climbers here. Again, yeah, another big shout out to RAB and the North Face for sponsoring this competition. Thank you for making it possible, Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association and Rocktopia. Thank you to all our volunteers and helpers, judges, route setters. You guys are awesome.
Caleb was going for the double hand technique to the zone hold there.
Kerry's deciding she's going to have one more go before the time's up. Caleb's calling it time, going back into the isolation zone.
Oh, Kerry's stuck that hold. She's doing well. About 15 seconds
Gonna have
remaining.
to go up for the zone hold for it to mean anything though.
Oh,
Time's
so
out
close.
just as she's going for the zone hold. It's such a shame. And again, like what we were saying, you're coming right close, and as soon as you're finishing your attempt on your last attempt, you finally figure it out.
Yeah, she looked quite frustrated coming off that climb, as you would be though.
Now next we've got Phoebe Kenderdine and Alexander Kishley Cornish.
They're looking very focused, tuning into the climbs. Phoebe's from Wellington, and she also went to Arco, Italy earlier this year for the World Youth Championships.
I believe that would have been her first ever Worlds competition as well.
Yeah, it was. It's really cool to see a lot of new climbers getting out there and representing New Zealand.
What a privilege and honour to be able to represent New Zealand in
Oh yeah,
world
definitely.
competition, you know, carry the flag and everything. Climbing is quite a small, unique sport at the moment, but I'm sure as it's in the Olympics, people will start seeing how amazing it is and want to tune into it more, watch it at the Olympics, and, you know, people will start to get more involved. So it's exciting.
Because you're not doing the same thing every time. It's so different.
Yes, it's completely unique, whereas, you know, you're running, you're doing pole vault or high jump, it's the exact same skill every time, but you have to be really able to think out of the box and adapt to pressure with climbing. Alex is coming close on to this first move. His finger's just tickling the underside of that volume he's meant to press into. Choosing to go right hand first to that little foothold.
I think for that female climb, just barndering out after reaching into the big donut hold is
Yes.
one of the
You'd have to swing your hips
difficulties.
back in somehow. Keep both hands up like Kerry did.
Keep your shoulders tensed up.
Interesting move there by Phoebe, choosing to walk her feet up quite a bit further on that side wall.
About 2 minutes left for these climbers. And this is their last boulder problem of the day.
This is the second open competition Phoebe Kenderdine has made the finals in. Double undercling on that start hold.
Yeah, oh, that's quite good, Beta.
Awesome. Great work there from Phoebe. Again, thinking outside the box to your strengths.
Yeah, she did really well there. Oh no. Very close on that move.
I reckon she might opt for that again though, because that did bring her a lot higher and closer to the zone hold than previous. Alex seeming to have a bit of trouble just reaching up into that first palm. Probably needs to bring his feet up a bit higher maybe.
Yep, she's figured out the same Beta again.
Good stuff there from Phoebe. Looks like Alex dynoed straight for the zone hold. Don't know quite if he's made that.
These dual checks holds are quite a struggle. Oh,
Teeth were gritted there. She looked quite
Yeah.
frustrated. Threw her head back in effort.
oh look.
Awesome
Alex
stuff
makes
there
his
from
own.
Alex. Breaking the climb, choosing to dyno straight to the zone hold. He secures it. Is that the first zone we've seen secured
I think
for
it
the
is,
males?
yeah. Out of the two climbers.
Yeah, good thinking from these two here on the wall. Both coming up with their own unique ways to do these climbs.
Yeah,
Alex is having another go. He's still got enough time.
Phoebe looks pretty tired from that climb. It was quite energy demanding.
2 last goes in the remaining 10 seconds there from Alex. Very close.
Good
Looks quite
thinking,
pleased with
yeah.
himself though, yeah.
Good
yeah.
thinking from these
Good
climbers.
thinking, all right. Alrighty, so our next climbers out, we have Henry Booker, and we've got Kim Ford. Strolling on in, looking quite relaxed. It's interesting, sometimes people will run across the venue to get on in there.
Yeah, you're a bit of a runner, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I like to run on in. Feels a bit more high energy, but then other people just stroll on in and they take their time.
Climbers getting focused for their current boulder problem. Head coach Rob Moore is pretty excited about the competition today.
Yeah, he's loving it. He's been working hard to get the speed wall up, so this competition's finally come to fruition. So happy he's been dancing around the venue all day.
Yeah, the climbs are really cool today.
Here goes Kim. Brings her left foot up into that start hold. Takes it off.
Really balancing herself on the wall.
Nice and slow there from Kim. Awesome body tension.
Oh wow, that was done really well.
Really have to squeeze between your hips to keep your feet on that well and that move there. Yeah, she's getting very relaxed and calm.
Yeah.
Good stuff from Kim.
Good finger strength. Because you can't really use your thumb since it's... Oh, I see that it's grippy on that underside.
Interesting. Kim locking off her left arm. Very close to the zone
So
hold there
close.
from Kim. Sure, we'll see her secure that in this round.
She's looking quite relaxed, which is good to see.
Yeah, not stressing out or anything, just taking her time. Banana Boy there in the background with his long arms. Again, only a second-year Youth B. Henry Booker is 15 years old. Fantastic that he's made the Open Finals for the first ever combined championships.
Yeah.
Coming close to the zone hold there.
I wonder if he's going to go for the double-handed dyno technique.
Yeah, we didn't even hear the route setters talk about that when we were
No.
out there, so exciting.
New method from the climbers.
Here goes Kim. Yet another big shout out there to RAB, one of our sponsors, also to the North Face and Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. Thank you guys for all making this competition possible. Thank you for all the route setters and judges and volunteers. Thank you to Stream Shop for providing this amazing stream quality that you guys can watch from the comfort of your own home, not having to come over here to sunny, lovely Mount Maunganui.
Kim's really got this first part of the boulder problem sorted out.
It's only on her second attempt now as well, I think.
Yeah,
Nice and cruisy.
but it only
relaxed.
counts if she gets to the zone.
She goes right hand first down to that lower hold to reposition herself.
Oh.
Eyeing up the zone hold. She
Oh,
sticks it.
Good work.
Still shaking out. She's got over a minute remaining.
She's not rushing it, which is good to see.
Yes.
It's an easy thing to do once you get under pressure, is just to go as fast as you can.
It's up to the second to last hold. This last move looks very interesting. You have to get right on top of this donut hold. Finishing hold is in the roof. She's going to have to be careful with her feet. It's just coming off before the last hold there. Such a shame for Kim.
It's quite bunched up, that last section of the female climb,
Yes, it is.
so easy for your hands to pop off.
Especially with those dual text features and everything.
Yeah.
Looks like both climbers will have one more attempt on this boulder.
About 30 seconds remaining. Oh, Kim's getting tired there. But it's good she secured the zone on her previous round. She's the first
Yes.
climber to have done that.
Such a good attempt there from Kim. Henry eyeing up the zone hold, inching his way on top of that. He's coming close, out into a bit of a double Gaston.
Kim's had enough of that climb, very tired.
Climbers will head back into isolation now. Next climbers out, we will have Abby Gibbert and Luke Gardner.
Good effort from all the climbers today. It's been a tiring day. They're pushing themselves to their limits.
Abby, get up on the water inside the bouldering room here.
Still really don't know how these climbers are going to do right until the lead climbing is done though, however, because every placing, so you know, you could get 2 first place and an 8th, your points will be 8 because it'll be 1 times 1 times 8. And then again, if you got a 7th, a 2nd, and a 3rd, you know it's all going to be multiplied together. So we really have to wait until the last discipline is done before we know who's won.
Abby's doing well. Calm and collected on the wall as always.
Utilising her flexibility to get her right foot up high.
Yeah, made easy work with that move.
Awesome stuff there.
These new holds are very cool that we're seeing on the wall today.
Yeah, they're probably the first of that type that we've got in New Zealand, some of those.
Do you know what brand they are?
Oh, no, we got them over from a company called Euro Holds or something. Not sure exactly, but yeah, I like what the root setters have done with the zone hold as well. You know, they put a little hold inside there to make it a bit harder to hold on to.
Oh.
Abby coming super close on her first attempt to stick
really
in that
well.
zone hold. Climbers are allowed to get the brushes for themselves and have a go at it.
Yeah.
Or they can ask the brush boys to go in there and do it.
Luke's pulling on again. He's got to push up into this big slopery hold.
Luke Gardner having another attempt here. Looks like he's choosing to, oh, he's going to the
This
foot
is a
first.
different method.
Looks like my eye going straight up to that zone hold and the double dyno that we saw Alex do.
Oh, that was it.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Tries to go out and a sort of span and clutch both those dynos.
Just
Oh,
under
both those slopers.
just under 2 minutes remaining. The climbers.
Luke having another go at that method.
Abby's shaking out, preparing herself for her next attempt.
He's going to should get another couple of good attempts in each. It's a nice right hand undercling there for Luke Gardner. Much better than the left hand one. Open and sloping. It looks like he's aiming up for the zone hold.
Oh, it was quite close to that actually. He's got a lot of dynamic strength and power in him.
Definitely. If he can just bring his hands and his arms and his hips in a bit closer to the wall when he's doing that dyno. Abby just coming off on getting her right foot up on that first move.
Yeah.
Still got time for another attempt.
So far, 0 tops on the female and the male climb. They're quite tricky, the boulder problems, but it's splitting the climbers up quite well.
It's better too tricky than too easy, because at least that way you've got separation as opposed to everyone topping it.
Not good if everyone tops then.
No. Right, here goes Abby. She's going to have another attempt. Bringing her left foot up high. Kim is certainly the female we've seen with the most success thus far on this boulder.
Yeah.
We're only
It's
just
interesting to
over halfway
see
through.
how different climbers have topped different
Yes,
boulder problems, seeming on their strengths. But Erica has topped 2.
That is true. Hopefully we see, or we'll see Erica top this one, or at least someone top this one. Be interesting if someone else does.
Erica's known to be a boulderer. She's always bouldering at Castle Hill and Flock Hill.
Outdoors is definitely a strength of Erica's. She's a very good boulderer.
Here she is on the wall with Tom Walden.
Two of our best boulderers here in New Zealand. We've got Tom Walden, who's the current open bouldering champion, and Erica Gatlin, qualified first for bouldering. First equal. Again, though, it's been a rough weekend for Erica, so it's good to see her still hanging in this competition and fighting.
Erica always looks very focused on the wall. Oh,
Nice first attempt there from Erica. She's following the intended beta. Tom coming close to that zone hold there. Choosing to pop to it, and he just comes sliding off.
I wonder if Erica will choose a different method of this boulder for this next attempt. No, choosing the same way.
Yeah, we've only seen Kerry stick it the intended beta weight by bringing both of her hands into it as she's going through on that barn door.
Yeah, it's quite a tough move actually.
It's a cool move to watch, but it does look very tough, and there has been other ways that the climbers have figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
Right, here goes Tom again in the background.
It's quite a stretch pushing up into that left-hand hold.
Tom's got a good ape index though. He's got quite long, lanky arms.
And very bouncy as well, because
Yes.
that wall is slightly overhung.
Yes, especially with those, big sloping holds and volumes and features. You have to stay quite close into the wall, don't you?
Definitely. Erica's pulling on again.
You're opting for the same method.
Yeah. Looks quite difficult keeping yourself close to the wall using that method though.
Yeah. And that foot's quite low down for some of the shorter girls as well.
It's interesting to see that a lot of the female competitors are not too tall, and that's seen globally in climbing actually.
Yeah, well, you do get a wide range. Some of the best climbers in the world are tall and lanky, and then you've got other climbers who are very short.
A lot of speed climbers are taller, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, because Razor, and the Indonesian team are definitely all shorter, but then again, you know, you've got Daniel Bouldering from Ukraine and Bassa Maywem who are close to 6 foot or around that mark.
Yeah.
There you go. Erica sticks the first move.
She's doing well. She's got good finger strength. Oh, easily making
Sticks
that
the
zone.
zone hold.
She decided to go straight up from that big donut hold instead of going up right with her hand.
Puts her foot in the middle of that first hold that you go to, inching her way up to the top hold.
Oh,
Fingertips just on there. She has to be very careful with her feet.
that looks very...
Awesome top
She
there from
sticks it.
Erica Gatlin.
3 tops from Erica in this competition.
3
Amazing.
tops from Erica. It's definitely in first place then. No one will be able to beat her bouldering score.
She must be pretty stoked with that.
Yep, that'll take a bit of weight off her shoulders, knowing that she's in first place for bouldering.
Yeah.
Mind you, though, you don't always know what's going on when you're out in isolation. You can only guess from
Yeah,
the cheers
so-
of the crowd and
So
everything.
are they separated once they go back in? Or
No, they are all together, but you aren't allowed to talk about the climbing.
here's Tom trying again on the boulder problem. He's going for the double hand method, but looking pretty difficult.
5 seconds left. Don't know if he's secured the zone yet. Timer's done. Alrighty. Out next we've got Chase Gatlin.
Here we see Erica's amazing top of the final boulder problem.
Almost looked like she's going to come off of that.
I
Yeah,
know,
didn't
it's
she?
quite
Just, like,
stressful.
Slipping back slightly, but she held it. So yeah, out next we've got Chase Gatlin and Suristan. Chase in his climbing New Zealand World Cup uniform, as he doesn't live here. Guess that's a fair decision. I believe Suristan as well has represented New Zealand at some World Cup competitions. I'm not sure which ones.
It'll be interesting to see what beta Cirrus uses on this climb,
Yes.
as all the females have been going about it quite differently.
Yeah, they seem to have all come up with unique ways to do this boulder.
Yeah, all suiting to their different strengths.
Seem to be almost sticking that one there, Cirrus.
Oh,
Have it another
Chase
go.
has got some
Swinging
good
through.
contact on that left-hand hold. Wow, making that look
Sticking
easy.
the zone. That is the perfect intended beta from the root setters.
Like a spider. That next move, though, does look pretty tough.
That is what they told us, though. You go up and you palm into the underside of that left-hand volume, and then you pop to the zone hold.
Oh, Sarah's sticking that there.
Going to be going out for the zone hold shortly. She's not quite sure about the feet. Chooses to readjust, putting her right hand down.
Doing well. This is the method that Kim used as well, going right hand down to that lower hold first.
Matches the zone hold.
Just nearing the top, apart from this next move is very tricky.
Choosing to grab the outer ring of that donut hold there. She's coming very close to the last hold here, Cirrus.
Oh, wonder if she'll move her left foot up higher onto that hold.
See her left foot shaking there a bit. She's going to have to really rock over her hips to get up, change from a drop knee. Chase in the background coming close. Best we've seen so far on that boulder.
He's stuck that zone twice now.
Palming down there on the left arm, looking strong from Cirrus.
Oh, so close.
Just to bump up into that little jib inside the donut hold there and just came off.
That's a very demanding move that on the female climb, so after making your way all the way up, it's hard to get that last hold.
Big shouldery move and pushing into the roof like that. Just over a minute and a half left for our climbers here in this round.
We've got 2 more climbers from each category after these climbers have finished. Climbers resting up before they try again.
Yeah, that male's one looks very physically demanding, as all the others have been.
Yeah, they've
Cirrus
been
sticks
quite a
the
high
move again.
standard.
It's good though, apart from the first male's boulder, we have seen tops on every boulder.
Chase has been pretty consistent with sticking that zone. Oh,
Chase coming very close to the top hold here right now. Chooses to swap his feet around,
one
reaches
hand
out,
on.
pinches the top hold. Match there from Chase Gatlin.
Top from Chase.
First top on this final boulder of the day for the men.
He's doing really well today. Obviously, the training in Australia has paid off.
Big swing there through from Cirrus, landing on the ground. Seen a couple of wipeouts from her, minor ones. It's very good. Like to see the commitment.
Yeah, it's quite scary going for a big move if you know you're gonna, if you miss it, you'll land flat on your face.
Cirrus is 10 seconds left. Looks like she's going to call it a day on that final boulder, save her energy for later on. Wouldn't be able to get very far doing that. She came very close to the top hold there, so good attempt from Cirrus.
Yeah, real good work from those climbers there.
All right, George and Taylor.
Next climbers out, we have George Sanders from Wellington and Taylor Manning looking to add a 5th win to her 4 consecutive wins this year in every competition she's been in.
It's really cool to see the variation in the boulder problems today. So each climber can have, you know, a go at the different strengths they require.
Definitely.
Quite controlled going up to that hold there. I've seen Taylor.
She looked to be doing all right on that move, but who knows, she may opt for a different method now, knowing that she might barn door out on there. George Sanders in the background seems to be eyeing up that zone hold immediately. Be interesting to see if he opts for that dynoing straight to it, as we saw from Alex Casey.
Climbers will give it their all on this last climb, as they know they've got a rest coming up before lead, which is the next discipline.
Definitely, yep, and I think we did just see from George there, the dyno. Taylor Manning sticking that first awkward move.
Straight up to the zone. Secured the zone.
Pursing her lips. Putting in a lot of effort to stick that zone hold. She can have a little bit of a rest here now before she goes through these last couple of moves.
This last move for the female climb requires so much shoulder strength.
You really need to lock down on that right arm to get up high. Really push your weight over your left foot.
Great setting today in the bouldering.
Yeah, good stuff, boys. Shout out to Wiz, Tyler, Pete, Emma, Rob, all those involved in the setting.
Taylor was close there, just
very close.
falling for that last hold.
It's only her second attempt, and both climbers have just over half their time remaining, so hopefully we see a top. Here goes George. Again, looking very high energy. Springing up and sticking the zone hold.
He's quite a dynamic climber.
Very. Left foot just coming off of that chalky palm hold. Taylor Manning pulls back onto the wall. You can see the chalk on the underside of these climbers' shoes here.
Yeah, makes them much more slippery.
A little bit of a problem, yeah.
Taylor's looking pretty relaxed.
And stick in that zone hold move. Good stuff from Taylor. Taylor seemed to just come out of nowhere this year. You know, she's not a bad climber whatsoever, but this year she's just really popped off in all of the competitions she's been in. Nice hand wrap there from Taylor. It's quite a unique way to do that. Probably saves you a bit of energy.
Yeah.
A little bit awkward by the looks of it. She's going to bring her feet up real high.
Oh, wow. That looks quite
Such a
difficult.
shame. Yeah, don't know if you'll be quite in the right position for that last move, though.
No. 1 minute remaining. Big
Both these climbers stick their zone holds.
Yeah. Big shout out to Rab in the North Face for sponsoring the competition today, and thank you
guys
to
are rad.
Bay of Plenty Sports Climbing Association for hosting this awesome event.
George sticks the zone there again. He's coming up to the last 30 seconds now. He's going to really have to make his time count. Good stuff here from George. He's got both his hands on that second to last hold. Left foot is secure. He pinches the last top hold. Brings his feet through. Black tape there. He can't step over. Heel hook.
Looking nice and controlled.
Top there from George Sanders. Very stoked with this attempt.
Oh, such awesome work. 2 tops on the male climb today. Only 1 so far on the female climb.
We're coming up to our last 2 boulderers for today. So definitely Eric is sitting in first place for the bouldering here. For our males, will be between George and Chase. So out next, our top speed climbers, Aliat Kaye and Sarah Tetzlaff. Big competition for Sarah. The last combined competition she was in, she won, and it was an international one. So no pressure at all.
Pulling onto the wall.
Actually, I believe she may have done the Tokyo combined competition. Excuse me. Yeah, Sarah's an excellent climber, especially at speed climbing. Very powerful.
Yeah, she's really been clocking down her speed times. Both climbers having a think about what they're going to do for their next attempt.
Elliot not having too much success in bouldering thus far, but putting down an impressive speed time. Choosing to do the dyno straight to the zone. There goes Sarah. Again, Sarah's very flexible. She's a very intelligent climber.
She's deciding that not going to go for that method she used for the first attempt.
Decided to lock her right arm down and a palm down almost on that first hold that she's on, which is interesting.
Yeah, she's a very strong climber.
Great to see Elliot secure that zone hold if he is able to do that double dyno to it.
Yeah.
Still over 2 minutes remaining for both the climbers. Sort of grabbing around the sides of the zone hold there for Elliot, not quite getting on top. Here goes Sarah. Left hand is the big donut.
A lot of focus seen in Sarah today.
Big cheers from her coach, Rob Moore there, the head climbing New Zealand coach. Oh, very close. Good coordination there from Sarah, choosing to go right out to that right-hand donut.
Yeah, just under 2 minutes remaining for these climbers.
See her energy almost pick up a little bit when she did that. She's like, yep, okay,
yeah,
that's going to work.
It's always exciting once you start to move on.
Close there from Elliot as well. Let's go, Sarah.
Oh, good beta
Awesome.
from Sarah.
Controlled. Right hand out to that lower donut. Just going to bring her feet high and go to the zone hold. Secures the zone hold, Sarah Tetzlaff does.
Staying nice and controlled, close to the wall.
Taking a moment to chalk up. These last few moves are very important on this boulder, especially when it's the last boulder of the day.
Yeah.
Could mean the difference between quite a few placings.
Look at that strength coming from Sarah.
Shoulders. Good stuff, Sarah. You're doing fantastic. Right up towards the last hold.
Oh.
She's tickling it. She's got her knee on the zone hold, trying to reach towards it.
A very stressful position.
To stay very cool and collected there. She's got her hand backwards even.
Wow. Oh, so close from
Such a
Sarah.
shame.
Scott.
Great attempt though. Looks like she'll have time for one more go.
Yeah.
Looking a little bit frantic.
Just gonna push it. Oh.
Awesome stuff there from Elliot. He sticks the dyno, campusing up to the next hold, somehow holding that. Chooses to
Wow.
bring his feet up first, actually. Intense last round. Elliot just coming off the wall. Sarah sticking the zone hold.
She knows the beta now.
It's in the last 15 seconds here. Sarah still has time to top this boulder. She's looking very
10
frantic,
seconds for
wide-eyed.
Sarah.
Come on, Sarah.
About 5 seconds. Oh, so close from Sarah.
What an awesome round of bouldering there.
Yeah, awesome
Thank you
effort
guys
from all
for
our climbers.
tuning into that. Yeah, that would have been very exciting to watch. Climbers will have a bit of a rest before we move on to our lead climbing. And as is announced by David Treefrog here, that concludes our bouldering for the competition. That was action-packed. Again, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you all again shortly. Sounds like we'll have 20 minutes. Again, we'll see you all again soon. Thank you very much.
Change the order. But we've got the lead component of this competition, and I know you're going to really enjoy this. These routes look awesome. Pretty soon we'll be presenting the athletes to you, and the order that they'll be climbing in is the reverse order from the combination of their lead, of their speed and boulder scores from today. If that makes sense, I hope it does.
Well, camera one's got that. Can I change my battery?
And then after they've climbed their lead climb behind me, we'll then multiply that score by the score that they've so far got from their speed and bouldering, and that will give us the overall ranking for the competition.
Camera two's got people.
Great to see you all here this afternoon at Rocktopia climbing facility in the Mount Maunganui Bay of Plenty region. It's been a fantastic day climbing so far, and I know we're going to really enjoy the final act of this competition. So the judges just getting ready. Big shout out to all our volunteers, all the volunteer judges, and the belayers who are about to go into action as well. Big shout out to the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. For organising all the volunteers who've been helping us run the competition this weekend. So are we ready to go? One minute. Bob's just told me I have to talk about fudgies for 1 minute, what kind of demanding questions that are being put in on the spot. What do I know about fudgies? I know that they flock in vast numbers over the skies of Australia. If you've ever been to Australia and you've seen a flock of budgerigars, well, it's something else. They move as one. They call them the vultures, the mini vultures of the skies, of the Australian skies. And they come in all sorts of colours too. I used to have one, his name was Zebedee. A little black and white budgerigar. All around the room.
Welcome back everyone, we are live again. I am Sam Monday and I'm here with my co-host Zita Hittman. You're about to watch the climbers viewing their final lead climb, the final climb for the entire weekend, for the first ever annual national combined championships for New Zealand. Climbers are just lining up here. Hasn't today just been fantastic so far, Zita?
Oh, it's been amazing. The climbers have done so well throughout the day.
It's been really exciting to watch.
Yeah, speed climbing was really exciting. Bouldering, everyone climbed really well.
Sure was. First ever proper speed competition we've had here in New Zealand. So our climbers are going to start viewing their climbs now. They're allowed to touch the start holds from the ground, but they're not allowed to pull on or take their weight off the ground.
The lead climbs look pretty cool. quite tricky in some sections, so it'll be interesting to see how the climbers figure out what they're going to do.
Got our females on the right-hand pink route here, and we've got our males on the left-hand side of the gym on this yellow one. See the climbers pushing their hands through the air, kind of mimicking what sort of moves they're going to do on the wall. For you, Zeta, as a competitor, how important is getting this chance to view the climb as opposed to going straight out and just doing it?
Oh, it's really important because you want to know what you're doing before you get on the wall, so you've got the best chance at getting as far as you can. And if you have a good look at the climb and view it, then you've already decided what sequence you're going to use and you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of a chance to figure out how you're going to climb it. Awesome shot here from the scissor lift moving up. You can have a look through the climbs. Back to the floor. Yeah, so these climbers will not get to see anyone else climb the route. They will only have to rely on what they've decided upon before they climb and what they're going to do when they're actually on there.
It's cool to see climbers from different clubs sharing ideas and beta on how to do the climbs. Good teamwork.
Do you find, Zeta, when you're competing, that when you're reading a climb or whatever, do you like to share your ideas with other people or get their ideas? And how honest are you with what you tell other people?
Oh, definitely. No, I always talk to others when I'm reading a climb. And I'm honest with what I see and what I think, because in the end it's just up to what type of climber you are.
Do you think anyone is ever deceptive? Do you think anyone's ever fed each other false information about how to do a climb or whatever? Or do you think climbers are more just friendly and will always tell the truth?
I think the majority of New Zealand climbers are pretty friendly and we'd all be truthful, but maybe in other countries, I'm not sure.
Yeah, or when climbing starts to get taken a bit more seriously in New Zealand, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Looks like our climbers are getting to the roof sections now. You got Tom and George and Caleb down there reading the roof section of this yellow climb. Both of them are very aesthetic, interesting looking climbs. The pink hold's got a bunch of brand new holds on it.
Both climbs look quite tricky through the roof section, requiring quite a bit of thought in order to choose their sequence.
Yeah, we just went and had a chat with the route setters, and they do reckon that following the proper sequence will be essential to topping these climbs. And there are other ways to do it, but they reckon it's much more thuggish and a lot harder to climb it that way. Over there in yellow, we've got Banana Boy here. We've got George Sanders and Sarah Tetzlaff reading their climbs. Getting towards the end of their viewing time shortly. Like to head back into isolation.
How many minutes do they get to view their climbs?
Believe for lead climbing they'll probably have 4 minutes. Not sure exactly. That's the first ever combined nationals we've done. Have to check in with that.
So they're only doing one lead climb each for their finals today.
Right, yeah, and that's a bunch more pressure added to the climbers. So in the speed climbing they only got 3 speed climbs. In the bouldering they got 3 boulders, and in the lead climb they've only got 1 lead climb. Whereas in other more traditional competitions in the bouldering, you'd have 4 boulders, and in the league climbs, you know, you'd have, I think they just had 1 in the qualifiers, right? 1 in the qualifiers.
I think 2 in the qualifiers.
2 in the qualifiers. But normally you'd have quite a, couple more, but yeah. Very interesting.
So it all goes down to this last climb. A lot of the climbers will be quite stressed and under pressure for this climb.
So currently, we've got our lists for how our climbers are doing. After the first 2 rounds, of speed and bouldering, seated in 8th place at the moment for the men, we've got Henry Booker, Caleb Bryant in 7th, Luke Gardner in 6th, Tom Walden in 5th, Alex KC in 4th, Elliot Kayet in 3rd, George Sanders in 2nd, and Chase Gatlin currently seated 1st. In the females, got Phoebe Kenderdine coming in 8th. 7th is Kerry Shibahara. In 6th, we have Abby Gibbert. In 5th, we have Kim Ford. 4th, we have Taylor Manning. 3rd, we have Cirrus Tan. 2nd, we've got Erica Gatlin. And in 1st place, Sarah Tetzlaff.
We saw an awesome show of bouldering from Erica. She topped all 3 boulder problems, which was putting her up in the ranks, coming second now.
Here's a visual for you on our men's lead start list. This will be reverse. Oh, no, I don't think this is in order at all. But here are your names. So Chase Gatlin is over from Australia, representing the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. Nice shot of our roof climb here. The yellow one back onto the floor with the competitors.
Last few seconds to view their routes. Now viewing has ended.
Head official Rob Moore calls them all back into isolation. Herding them all back, and look, they're still looking up. Luke's having another last good look. Climbers will head back in now, get their harnesses and shoes on, chalk bags on, tie into their ropes, and they'll come out and they'll climb their final climb. This all comes down to this. First climbers out, we'll have Henry Booker and Phoebe Kenderdine. Henry Booker, being ripe old age of 15 years old, has made it into the first ever combined national championships finals. It's an open competition as well, meaning it's open to all ages in New Zealand from his age and up.
You see Phoebe tying in now, getting ready to climb.
Phoebe as well, a younger competitor. Awesome to see these young guys making an open combined finals. In Phoebe Kenderdine climbing for the Dynamites, the Wellington Climbing Club. Henry Booker climbing for the Rotorua Climbing Club, being from Rotorua.
It's always a stressful part when you know you're about to head out and start climbing, tying in.
Yeah, I remember you're only allowed to use a figure 8 and you have to have stoppers in a competition. I remember a few times where people have tied bow lines or haven't had stoppers and stuff, and then you have to undo your knot and start it again, and that's when you start getting stressed out.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching you and they're holding everyone up. It's a bit like, ah! I'm sure all these guys will be onto it.
They'll all be thinking about the climbs now, sitting in isolation.
This is the last climb of their entire weekend for this competition.
It's been a successful weekend for the Bay of Plenty Sports Climbing Association.
Definitely. In the finals for the males, we have 3 climbers from Rotorua Climbing Club. We have 1 from Christchurch, or the Canterbury Climbing Club, the Flying Geckos. Got 1 from Auckland, 1 from New Caledonia, 1 from Wellington, and 1 from the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. And in the females, we have 2 Wellington finalists, 2 Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association finalists, 2 from Christchurch, 1 from Taranaki, and 1 from Auckland. It's a really good spread out mix of climbers here, showing that we've got talent all over New Zealand. And especially once we've introduced speed and people will be able to start training on our speed wall, we might start to see some new names coming into the finals and people getting into climbing who might even specialise just in speed climbing.
Yeah.
Only time will tell what's going to go on.
Yeah, this speed wall allows climbers to really focus in on one discipline of climbing.
What do you reckon, Zeta? Would you ever be a speed specialist?
Oh, I enjoy speed, but probably wouldn't focus on it as my main discipline. I'm more of a lead climber or boulderer.
Why is that? Do you just like the movement more or the style, or what do you like more about those disciplines as opposed to speed?
I think I like the variety and each climb's different and having to figure it out. It's like a puzzle, really. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And every time you go to a new competition, you got new climbs, and the speed climbing, I guess, is more like a traditional sport, whereas you just practice your one route over and over again, eh?
Yeah, no, that's what makes lead climbing bouldering quite exciting.
But still, it's good to have that variety in speed climbing. It shows for an all-rounded athlete, someone who has to compete in all 3 disciplines. Very endurance-based one.
Yeah.
Here come our climbers, Henry Booker and Phoebe Kenderdine.
There's Phoebe pulling onto the wall. These awesome pink holds.
Nice high heel there for Phoebe, going for that first clip. Henry Booker making his way up through those honeycomb yellow volumes. Good shot of Phoebe there. Awesome to watch good to watch the climbers' facial expressions.
These holds that Henry's currently using are quite slopery.
Yeah, they're dual tech sloopers as well, aren't they?
Phoebe's making her way up.
So on this section here for Phoebe, she's on a slab, and this next move is a very interesting committing one that the route setters have told us about, so we're excited to see how she fares on this.
Nice no hand rest there.
What's good about speed climbing, you know, you don't get pumped or anything, but
yeah.
it can be quite a mental game sometimes.
Yeah, it's over much quicker than lead and bouldering.
Henry cruising up his climb, looking nice and confident. Here goes Phoebe. Gonna have to figure out this interesting slab move here.
Quite balancy, this move.
Right on her right hand fingertips there. Awesome balance there from Phoebe.
Really good.
Goes nice and slow over. Back to Henry here. Phoebe looks like she's going to have to commit to this next move.
Yeah, just fall into it.
Awesome control there from Phoebe. Bit of a relief to stick that, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these moves are quite interesting. Really cool.
It's up to wrap in the first, I think, witch's nose in the roof. Oh, Henry Booker comes off on the first big dual tech sloper.
Phoebe's still going, just making her way into the roof now.
Phoebe has qualified first for lead climbing.
Into the big undercling hold.
Phoebe definitely fancies herself a lead climber. It's her favourite discipline for sure, so this could make her up somewhere in the rankings. Doing very well so far. Doesn't look very phased or anything. She has got a clip there that she'll have to get before she moves on much further though.
Big pinch hold. Good reach through there.
Makes the clip. Onto those two nasty pinches in the roof. Dropping her knee down a bit, trying to get her hips nice and close.
Oh, doing well on those pinches.
Starting to dig it in a bit.
Got to drop it into that next
Back
hold.
down into the undercling, and she just slips off there. Nice attempt
So
from
close.
Phoebe Kenderdine.
Really good attempt. Good effort from both of those climbers.
Bit of a replay. Henry just spooging off on that big hold there. Probably quite gutted with that. But nonetheless, great climbing from a young climber who made the open combined finals. First one ever in New Zealand. So yeah, good stuff, Henry. Great competing this weekend. Who are our next climbers out, Zeta?
We have Caleb Bryant and Kerry Shibaraha.
Kerry Shibahara. Caleb, another very strong lead climber. Kerry fancying herself a boulderer, but still be interesting to see how she fares on this. Caleb is the Youth A bouldering champ of this year. Making his way up from Christchurch for this competition. He'll be heading out shortly. They're just untying Phoebe Kenderdine from the rope.
Yeah, she must be pretty pumped after that big climb.
Righty, pulling the rope down. And Kerry Shibahara, this is her first ever open competition she's competed in, and she's made the finals, which is awesome as well. She was born in Japan, living in New Zealand, grown up a lot in New Zealand. She's qualified first equal in bouldering. And yeah, she's a Youth B as well, so another young climber who's done spectacular this weekend to make the open finals.
Yeah, really cool to see so many young climbers getting up there in the ranks this weekend.
Here they come out. Caleb Bryant from the Flying Geckos. Kerry Shibahara from the Dynamites Climbing Club.
So after these climbers' attempts, they can watch the rest of their category climb.
Yeah, it's nice to after you're climbing all weekend to go and watch a little bit, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Because everyone loves watching climbing.
Cool to see how everyone goes.
Kerry opting to put her left hand out right around the arete. There's a very flexible move, rocking on up instead. Good high foot there from her. Got to keep her heel in for that. She go way up on those holds.
Getting the clip here.
Pinching those tiny little witch noses, making her way up the slab.
Slab climbing uses your legs quite a lot to balance yourself and push up.
I reckon slab climbing is my favourite sort of climbing. I think that's an unpopular opinion, but don't have to use so much endurance.
Yeah, that's very true.
There's Caleb, he's moving through the hold that Henry just slipped off. He cuts loose with his left foot and he comes off the wall.
Kerry's approaching the next balancing move.
Caleb just one hold ahead of Henry Booker. Yep, Kerry doing well on the slab climb.
Reaching around for that small hold.
Balancy move here. She's going to inch her way over. She's going to go straight to the next hold. Going to clip first.
Got a good toe hook there.
Lots of balance required on this sort of move. One of her feet come out, she'll peel away from the wall. Staying hips nice and close to the wall. Just taking her time, yeah, like you said, nice good toe hook around there. Pressing into the underside of that hold. A couple of the
Good
climbers talking
balance.
about their climbs.
Oh, Z clip there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zita's quite right. Very, unless she can sort that out, will not be able to move along. She's Z clipped, meaning
So she-
clipped from underneath her previous clip. But she's got it.
Yeah, so she doesn't get called down, but she's allowed to sort it out.
It's always a bit disconcerting when you've Z clipped in a competition. Yeah, you have to regain your composure, make sure you're breathing, relaxing, taking your time.
Takes energy to unclip and reclip as well.
Sure does, mental and physical.
These holds are quite small she's holding on to.
Starting to get a little bit frantic with her hand movements there. Do well for her to just relax a bit, take your time.
It's much easier to get pumped when you start to stress.
Start locking your arms off using all your muscles as opposed to just hanging and breathing, right? Doing well though.
Gaining her composure back.
Getting towards the roof section of this climb. Managed to reach the clip from quite down low, which is awesome. Phoebe chose to get that clip from the pinches in the roof, which was probably quite a bit more tiring. Shouldery move there from Kerry.
Moved into the big undercling hold. And out, she's got to go out to the crimps on the left. Oh,
Falling just below her compatriot Phoebe Kenderdine. Kerry comes off the roof. Awesome stuff there from Kerry, another young climber. Awesome competition from her this weekend. Next climbers out, we'll have Luke Gardner from Rotorua Climbing Club, and Abby Gibber from Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. Here's a replay of Caleb Bryant on the wall.
these big yellow holds look very slippery.
They are, especially when it's on an overhang like that. You've already got a bad hold and then you're slightly leaning out. It's a lot of, keeping your hips close to the wall, shoulders in, a lot of contact strength.
And if you lose your balance slightly, then so much easier to fall out.
I mean, yeah, you saw his foot just pop out in that last couple of moments there, which caused him to put all his weight on his left hand and just came sliding off. He's our crowd for the day. Mingled amongst them are route setters, judges, climbers.
Mix of everyone, really.
Fist bump there for Kerry. Friends congratulating her on her climb.
Now she gets to watch the rest of the climbers.
Alright, the next two climbers coming up will be Luke Gardner, the Rotorua Climbing Club, and Ali Gibbons
Alrighty, here they come.
of the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association.
Home wall for Abby.
Yep, she'll be nice and used to these walls for sure.
Yeah.
Well practiced on this slab.
But these holds are quite new, so
That
no
is
one's
very
had
true.
too much experience on them.
Luke's underway on his climb. Moving into those small little shiny slopers.
Abby's climbing smoothly. The women's lead climb is quite boulder-like at the start.
Yeah, it is actually. Not much of an endurance climb there. There's a lot of flexibility and balance.
Yeah, which Abby's good at. She's very flexible.
It's kind of hard to imagine that Luke's only 15 years old, turning 16.
I know.
End of the year, he's huge.
Very strong climber.
Awesome stuff there from Luke, keeping his left foot secure. He's going to move his feet on through this section. Abby doing well on the slab.
Luke being careful not to lose balance.
Good fight here from Luke. He gets into the roof. This is the intended beta from the route setters, going left hand first. Tongue out.
Very focused.
Awesome show here from Luke. Abby just inching her way over.
Using that flexibility.
Nice slow and controlled descent onto that hold from Abby. Luke's into the roof. Choosing to match on that hold. So this is what the route setters thought would make it harder. Gonna match again. Chooses to double up, just coming off the first hold on that head wall around the corner.
It's a fight against your endurance, isn't it?
Sure is, after that tricky section through those big slopers.
Yeah.
Great stuff there from Luke Gardner. It's awesome to see our climbs progressively getting better, especially in the males.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that.
Abby again using her technique and flexibility to her full advantage.
She seems very collected and calm. She's just navigating this next section, trying to find the easiest way to go.
See how close she stays to the wall, you know. Keeps her hips right into the wall. Taking a lot of the weight off her arms. She's doing awesome. Pushing her knees into the holds.
About halfway up the climb now. But nearing the tricky section.
Fantastic technique here from Abby. It's into that big undercling. See how she figures out this next clipping sequence though.
Yeah, this clipping section looks quite tiring. So you're not just thinking about the climbing, you've got to focus a lot on the clipping. Because missing your clip would be the worst thing to do.
Yep, and you're not allowed to climb past an unclipped clip. Or skip a clip, that is. Abby seems to be a little bit confused with this section just here, but she's still just taking her time and resting when she needs to.
She's got good endurance.
Up to that giant pinch in the roof. She'll have to clip that lower clip though. I think she's realizing that now.
This is the way Phoebe did it. Oh,
Decides to go for that next move just to get the plus on the point. Big fall there from Abby. Good climbing though.
yeah, fantastic effort.
Big round of applause from the audience. Bit of a replay here on what Luke did. Scrambling. Awesome cut loose there. Good action.
Looks pretty intense.
Fingertips just touching that hold. If he got slightly over, he probably would have been able to make it a bit further.
Yeah, it's
Hard
hard to
move,
see
though.
around that ret as well.
It is, it is. Alrighty. So our next climbers coming out. We'll have Tom Walden representing Rotorua Climbing Club. We'll have Kim Ford. Both these climbers are up from Christchurch. Kim Ford representing the Canterbury Flying Geckos, the Christchurch Climbing Club. Here they come. Both of these climbers, fantastic lead climbers. Both the bouldering champs, and both Kim is the junior bouldering champ and Tom is the open bouldering champ.
Tom's having a quick read of his climb before he climbs onto the wall.
Fresh as memory.
Making sure he knows where he's going. Because that roof section is very tricky.
Kim straight on the wall, however.
She must have had it pretty figured out.
I suppose, though, if you're on a slab, you can just stand, take your hands off, relax and have a look, though, eh?
Yep, definitely.
Tom's underway. He's got quite a bruised up knee by the looks of it there from speed. Speed, very skin-taxing discipline.
Yes.
Knees, elbows, fingers, knuckles.
Get pretty bashed up.
Sure do. A lot of blood on the speed wall often.
Doing well through this section.
Composed as always.
Kim's approaching the balancing section of the climb.
Choosing to change her knees the other direction just to get slightly further out. Good breathing there from Tom.
Very focused.
Here goes Tom into the big first sloper. Nice and controlled as always. Great contact strength. Hanging out on that giant ball.
He's pushing into the wall.
Kim's got the clips all good.
Oh. That part of the female climb must be quite stressful.
This part here too on the males, you start to have to really focus and dig it in if you want to get these clips. Good stuff here from Tom. Found a nice interesting rest with his arm pressed out behind him.
Looks
nice
quite
flexible joints.
Looks tiring on his shoulder.
Happy about that. He's grimacing a bit as he's moving through.
We heard the route setter saying earlier that Tom was very flexible wrists,
Yes.
shoulders.
Have to plan for that. Tom doubles up. Sticks the move that Luke came off on. Here's Kim starting to get towards the roof. Still looking reasonably composed, Kim is. You can often tell how a climber's feeling by where their eyes are going. If they're flicking all over the place, they're probably starting to stress out a bit.
Yeah.
Awkward technique from Tom, but he's doing it.
I wonder how Kim will manage this clip.
Yes, seems to be a bit of a crux point or a bit where the climbers need to figure it out properly. Tom setting a new high point. Tom looking nice and relaxed.
Kim's
And digging in
navigating.
that heel. Great shot of both climbers here.
Yeah, Tom's navigating this roof section quite well. Oh,
Very close to the undercling there for Kim Ford.
good effort from Kim.
Tom's got a little bit of a knee bar, if you can see there, in between that minion head and the first hold on the head wall. Wrapping his wrist hand over the hold like that, more like a wrist hold, so he's not pumping himself out.
Having a bit of a rest there. Good shots on the camera.
Really good footage from the stream shop here. Thank you guys very much for being able to provide this for us. Tom just pushing the rope and missing his next hold, unfortunately. Great climbing though, Tom. Bit of a replay. Kim Ford here.
This section of the roof does seem to be the crux point for the females.
The hardest bit so far. Kim came very close on that hold though. Another big shout out to our sponsors, Rab and the North Face. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for providing us with spot prizes and podium prizes for this competition. Thank you to Rocktopia for enabling us to host this competition. Thank you to the route setters, volunteers, judges, all of you that have helped out. Especially to the route setters. They spend a lot of their time making sure that these climbs are perfect for this competition. A lot of pressure on those guys, so they did a fantastic job. And thank you to the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association and Rob Moore for getting the speed wall up and running. It's fantastic to finally have it working in New Zealand. We're really excited for the future of climbing in New Zealand for this. Next climbers out. We've got Alexander Keshley Cornish from Auckland, a very strong lead climber, and Taylor Manning from Taranaki. Again, Taylor Manning will be fighting for a win today. She's currently won all four of the nationals she's entered in this year, all four national competitions. So if she wins today, she'll have won every single one she entered, which is very impressive.
So it's all down to this final climb.
Taylor is currently sitting in 4th place. So she'll probably still be able to make it up for sure. Alex also sitting in 4th place.
Staying composed is a very important factor while climbing.
It'll be really important, major for these top 4 competitors how they do on this last climb, won't it? Because they're all quite close, I think.
Yeah, I think they are. All climbed very well throughout the day.
Good precision there from Alex, going straight to the top of that big slug volume.
Alex is motoring up.
Right on top of that big first slippery sloper. Gets that shouldery move out to the next one. He's going to bring his feet high. Keeps them a bit lower by the looks of it. Matches over on that big left-hand volume. Drop knee there from Taylor Manning.
She's getting through this tricky move.
Alex seems to be faring well as well on the coming up to the roof on the male's climb.
Taylor's got one hand on that. Oh, coming back down. She's reaching into that flat hold.
Alex just came off there, unfortunately.
Taylor staying nice and controlled.
Gets her feet up high. So Taylor is currently the Open and the Youth A lead champion for New Zealand.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
She is also currently the Youth A and Open bouldering champion for New Zealand. Getting into the roof section here. She's going to clip first. Good move there from Taylor Manning.
Makes this next section much easier if you've already got the clip.
Into the big pinch, slightly indented. Digging it in here into the roof. Is she going to be able to stick the undercling?
Oh, wow.
First climber to stick the undercling, Taylor Manning.
Awesome work. She's looking pretty comfortable too.
Got a small jib up there, but she goes straight to that giant witch's nose on the roof. Don't know what else to call that hold, honestly.
Maybe a toe hook here would be useful on that
nice
undercling hold.
little clamp she's got there between.
Oh.
Such a great climb there from Taylor Manning, setting a new high point. That will set her very well coming up to the podium placings in the last couple of climbers.
There's a replay of Alex on the yellow climb.
Almost seemed like Taylor wasn't tired or anything there coming off, right? She just kind of got it a bit mixed up. Such a shame. Alex looked quite surprised too.
Almost just seemed like a foot slip from Taylor.
Yeah, they had a lot more to give, I think, both those climbers. But yeah, they are, you know, not just awkward climbs, but those moves, you have to be very precise and careful with how you're reading the sequence. Righty, our next climber's out. We'll have Elliot Kayet from New Caledonia, our current fastest speed climber, and Cyrus Tan up from Christchurch. Alex having a bit of trouble with the knot there that he's got.
They must be pretty pumped
Oh, I can imagine.
for these tricky climbs.
Hopefully they don't have to... Oh, he's got it.
Not giving up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to resort to cutting the rope. No,
That wouldn't be too good.
it wouldn't. Tree Frog, our MC host for the day, is quite right there. These routes are seriously testing our climbers. They're pushing them.
They are. It's really cool to see that. Everyone's giving it their all.
Here come our climbers. Elliot Kaye and Cyrus Tan.
Having a look over the climbs before they start off.
Quite a few New Caledonians in the crowd supporting their hometown athlete from Noumea, I'd assume, Elliot Kaye.
It's nice that he's got all the support.
Yeah, a lot of them made the trip over for this competition.
Cyrus is cruising up the slab.
Yeah, almost campusing those couple of first moves slightly. There was a cut loose or something. Moving quite fast, Cyrus, up the slab.
looking quite comfortable.
It's interesting. Some of these climbers might be thinking, is it going to come down to time if we're tying or whatever? So maybe they start climbing a bit faster as it gets further on into the competition. Don't want to spend too much time on the wall.
It's never nice when it comes down to time.
It's not. It's gutting when it's a few seconds between you and whoever's in first or second place. Elliot sticking the big sloper hold.
Oh,
Had a bit of trouble with it though. Comes off with a big sloper. Nice climbing from Elliot this weekend.
Cirrus is still navigating this area of the climb, making sure she feels comfortable with what technique and beta she uses.
Seems to have figured it out, however. Jumping straight over. That's, I'm sure, something that the route setters wanted. Bit of action like that.
I haven't seen that before today.
It's good, it's exciting. Sarah seems to be climbing a lot more dynamic than most of the climbers today, committing to the more parkour style moves.
But she doesn't seem too flustered, which is a good sign.
Starting to look a little bit frantic in these
Yeah, starting.
moves here. She's moving quite fast and the feet are jiggling. She needs to take her time and compose herself and breathe.
One of the main things about climbing is making sure you keep breathing. It's easy to hold your breath.
It is. And I think that's a big thing for people who focus on bouldering as well. I'm not sure if that's Cirrus. Nice rest there from Cirrus. But, you know, when they're lead climbing, they tend to climb a lot faster in smaller sections and look for rests.
Cirrus is very flexible.
Yeah, good rest she's found there. Like we were saying earlier, you know, the flexibility allows you to find better places to rest.
Yeah.
Got that clip earlier on. Good move there from Cirrus. Gets up into the big pinch on the roof.
Good thinking from Cirrus. Now she's just got to drop in. Oh,
Into the undercling.
fantastic.
Might start pushing for a high point on this route. She can take advantage of this rest here and just figure out how she's going to do the next section. It will suit her well for the podium placings in this
Only a
competition.
few holds till the top.
Currently in third place. Nice big jugs.
Got a good toe hook there.
Good intelligent climbing from Cirrus.
I wonder if she'll use the knee bar.
Awesome footwork.
Oh,
Just tickling the top hold there. Cirrus Tan, fantastic climbing.
wow. She was so close there.
She was very close, wasn't she?
Stayed composed throughout the whole route.
Oh, she did look, she got quite frantic at some points, shaking a bit, but she did well to get up there. Our next climbers out, currently seated in second position, both of them. George Sanders up from Wellington, who is your current Oceania lead champion. And Erica Gatlin, down from Auckland.
The pressure will be up on these climbers now.
Definitely. Both seated in second position at the moment. This last climb is going to be very important for them.
Especially hearing the crowd cheering when you're in isolation.
Oh, yeah.
Always makes you stress out.
Nerve-wracking. Alrighty, here they come. George Sanders sporting a lovely yellow singlet there, and nice flowery shorts. Pulls straight onto the route.
Looking pretty focused.
But I think our high point so far from the males has certainly been Tom on this route, followed by Luke. But George, our Oceania lead champion, will be looking to definitely beat that.
Erica starting out.
This section will probably suit her quite well, being more of a boulderer, don't you think, Zeta?
Yeah, because it is quite bouldery and bouncy, this first part.
Yeah, and then if she can just use all her power and power endurance through that roof section, yeah, this climb is probably well suited to a boulderer. George climbing very fast and smooth. Placing his feet precisely.
Erica's seeming to find this first bit slightly tricky, so she's trying other ways.
George clipping off the right hand on that big slope. The first time we've seen that, I think.
Erica's moving up.
George following the intended beta currently. The route setters wanted them to go right hand through now, but we haven't seen it happen yet. Looks like he's going to do it. He's thinking about it.
He doesn't look too tired yet.
Choosing to go right hand first.
Erica's moving across to the arete.
George chooses to go double toe hooks. Very interesting. Not quite going to help him too much though. He's going to have to figure out how to unwind out of this position.
Completely upside down now.
There we go. He sticks it. Completely upside down now from George going feet first. Erica still just taking her time on this move here.
Making sure she doesn't fall.
Awesome climbing from George. This is a nice, interesting sequence.
George is motoring through.
Cuts loose, untwists himself. He's going to have a bit of a rest here. Erica still at the same position. Trying to figure out how she's going to do it.
Erica's span doesn't quite reach.
Gets on up high. She might have to jump on out. George is still resting in the same position.
Looks like Erica.
Big
Committed
jump there
the
from
jump.
Erica.
Good commitment there. Be quite stressful doing that in a competition situation.
Definitely, especially on a lead route. Bouldering, you know, you're just going to land on the mats. George gets to that left-hand crimp.
Oh,
Very close. Whereabouts was Tom on that route?
I'm not sure where was Tom's high point.
George looks very happy with that. Awesome fight there from George. Here goes Erica. She's making her way up. Putting on a good show for us here this afternoon, the lead climbers.
Erica's
Current
into
second place holders.
Into the undercling hold.
Erica goes for the clip first.
It's a good plan.
Goes straight for the pinch, skipping out those tiny two little opposing crimps. Plugging her thumb into that hole is going to help. Into the undercling for Erica Gatlin.
Good clip from here. Double clip. This is a good rest spot for Erica. Making sure she's got enough energy for her last section of the climb.
Undercling looks very positive there on the roof. Certainly want to take advantage of those rests. Even though you've only got a few moves left, you'd rather be more fresh for it, wouldn't you?
So do the climbers have 4 minutes?
I believe it's 6 minutes. A lead competition. 4 minutes for the bouldering. Awesome climb there from Erica.
Just missed that heel hook.
Coming very close to the high point of Sarah's Tan's touching the last hold. Sarah's Tan will just be a half point ahead of her.
There's a replay of George doing amazingly well on the yellow climb.
Just looks like he had his feet a bit too low there. He's a bit too spread out to reach that next hold. Alrighty, so Zeta, this is the last two climbers. These are the last two climbers coming out now for the whole competition. It all comes down to this. These two are placed in first at the moment. We've seen us some impressive climbing from the fourth, third and second place climbers.
Yeah, these climbers will be very stressed right now, but hopefully they're calming their nerves.
Chase is one of those climbers who's really happy all the time to climb. Smile on his face. Here comes Chase Gatlin, Sarah Tetzlaff. It all comes down to this, folks.
Sarah's looking very focused, having a look over the climb.
Audience holding their breath a bit for these climbers.
Yeah.
Intense atmosphere here.
Sarah's starting out on the slab.
Good move there from Sarah, looking nice, smooth and precise. Executing that well.
Her tape matches the climb.
It does too. It's always good when you're colour-coded with the holds in the wall, isn't it?
Chase is doing very well onto the big sloper holds.
Both these climbers climbing very well thus far.
Chase is seeming very relaxed.
Sarah taking her time. Good Sarah breathing and relaxing. What is Chase going to do here? He gets a high right heel. None of these climbers have fully followed the intended beta for this climb yet. Good stuff there from Chase though.
This part of the men's climb is quite interesting. They've all done it quite differently.
Yeah, they have. Getting some nice high heels there. Rest as much as you can.
Sarah's leaning into that big flat hold.
Go for the next clip as well. Good long arms for that. Chase just taking his time. I feel so nervous watching this right now. My hands are very sweaty.
Same. Chase is getting near that high point though.
It's only a couple of holds off.
But they're quite demanding moves. Even the music's changed.
Sarah looking like she's climbing very well on this climb so far. Nice and slow. Chase looking strong. He sticks that next hold past George. Chase makes the next clip. His left hand is around the corner. Looks like a new high point for Chase for sure. He's making his way towards the top of the climb. He's one hold away. Into the top jug. Chase Gatlin tops out the final climb for the first ever combined championships for New Zealand. Chase Gatlin takes the competition.
Amazing effort from Chase.
Awesome stuff from Chase. That was such a good climb, wasn't it?
Wow.
Good way to finish it off, having our first place
Definitely.
climber winning.
He sped up that last section.
He sure did. Back to Sarah.
Making her way through the roof. She's got that clip early, which is a good sign.
Bump up to that big pinch. Just a bit away from that really good rest. Can she make it there? Brings her feet up nice and high. Into the undercling.
Good work.
Awesome stuff there from Sarah Tetzlaff. She'll have to get that clip.
Yeah, a double clip here, I think.
This will suit Sarah very well for the podium, how she's doing right now.
Taking some time to regain energy.
With her
compose
longer
herself.
legs though, she might be able to look for that knee bar that the route setters were talking about out to the left.
Yeah, I wonder if they spotted it in their viewing.
Route setters were saying that you're meant to knee bar before the last hold if you wanted to top it out between where that white tag is. Oh, just gone a bit dim on the screen. Here we go. Sarah climbing fantastically. This is what the route setters envisioned. Left foot out.
Doing really well.
Drop knee there from Sarah.
Oh,
So close to the knee bar. but I'm pretty sure that will seat Sarah Tetzlaff in first place for the competition.
Great climbing from Sarah.
Not confirmed yet, we'll have to wait on the results. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a quick replay here of Chase Gatlin topping out the final males route. Very stoked with himself on that. Again, another huge thanks to our sponsors, RAB and the North Face, for making this competition possible. Thank you, Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Association. All of the volunteers, route setters, helpers, judges. Rocktopia for lending us your facility, or letting us pay to use it.
And fantastic climbing from everyone today. It's a great competition.
Yeah, thank you all, guys, for tuning into this competition to watch the first ever combined championships for climbing New Zealand. How fantastic is it that we finally have a speed wall in New Zealand? Only onwards and upwards here in New Zealand for climbing. Yeah, we're pushing hard to get better, so yeah, it's really exciting times. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a fantastic afternoon. We've been your host, Sam Monday.
And Zeta Hitman.
Hope you all have a lovely afternoon. Thank you.